This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
So here's the putting green. See? There you go. Got two flags. One is over there where Cutter's Edge Pro. It's not coming out now. Come on. Come on, wind. Give me a little wind. No, unfortunately. But there you go. And this one says Big O here. There you go. So there's my putting green. It's about, I would say about 25 feet, something like that. I get to practice, have a little fun. See? And then, of course, we got, the bunkers. Got to have the bunkers, man. Got all kinds of bunkers there. You know what I'm saying? So that's a taste of our backyard. There's Maiden right there. Maiden. Bono, how you doing, Bono? Bono. He's a Carolina dog, by the way. These dogs are amazing. Their temperaments are awesome. But there is the Sylvester Palm, which is just beautiful. All right, call my guys, Will and Mike at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will take care of you. Dogs are not included, okay? Can't include the dogs. Those are mine. But the exceptional work, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Yes. Make your home an oasis. CuttersEdgePro.com. Go to their Instagram page, by the way, so you can see a lot of the before and after work that they do. And it is exceptional, baby. This thing's been on here for about 9 months. No grass growing through it or anything like that. Right, Bono? Huh? Bono!
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. Time to rock and roll on the show. It is a Tuesday. Oh, you got a Perdomo out already. You know what we got to give out a victory cigar, right? Because the Miami Marlins got it done against Los Blue Jays yesterday. 11-0. A raise is over 400. Sean, light it up. I like it. I like it. I like it. Right. Nice job by the Marlins yesterday. They can continue it today with Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for the Blue Jays. And you get a little treat tonight. You got Yuri Perez on the mound at 6:40. So there you go. There you go. There you go. And Soler, home run number 21, man. Guy's on pace for like 40-plus home runs this year. So he's doing good. I just hope they play well enough so they don't trade him in the deadline. That's what I'm hoping for. So let's hope that this can continue now as the record gets a little harder. You know, they're 17-5 in the last 22, by the way, Marlins. 17-5 in the last 22. So good stuff there. We'll get to that. We got the NBA draft on Thursday. He got the 18th pick. We'll see what happens with the whole Portland Trailblazers thing and all the talk with Dame Lillard. And I don't know what's going to happen. Do they want to trade him or not? Do they want to build around him? And we're going to find out. It's just you hear reports that they want to trade them for veterans. And then you hear that, no, they're not trading in. They're going to draft. And so I don't know what the hell's going to go on. So we'll find out on Thursday, dude. I'm not exactly sure.
and maybe we'll get a little bit more clarification on the Dame Lillard thing. Although some people are like, well, if we don't get Dame, we didn't get Bradley or Dame, and we could have signed Bradley. We could have made the offer or whatever. And you don't make a desperate offer to make a desperate offer. That's stupid. And by the way, I read where Barry Jackson, I think, just tweeted out a little while ago where the Heat just could not stomach the contract, which that tells me, you know what? Awesome, dude. The Heat were doing the right thing. Well, I mean, at least that's what I think. Doesn't mean I'm right either. But to me, that contract was unacceptable. There was no way you take on that contract if you're the Miami Heat. He's not worth that contract. He doesn't play enough. He's not good enough. He's not the star that people think he is. So, we'll find out on Thursday, I guess. As we get closer here, we'll find out if they're really going to be able to make even a move for Lillard, because if he doesn't want out, what are you going to do? The guy's entrenched there. He's made his whole career there. And if he wants to win there, and, they've had decent teams in the past. That's why he's made it to the conference finals a couple times and to the semifinals. I think it's like 4 times. So they've made, a couple trips throughout his career, but they haven't had the kind of team that they need now. So I guess they got to prove it to him that they can build it. So we'll see. We shall see. What else do we have going on in the world? Well, we got a lot of stuff going on in the world of sports. Some funky stuff going on also in the world. Andrew Tate was arrested. Hunter Biden was arrested. That twisted party animal. So those are other things going on in the world. What else do we have going on? Oh yeah, we got some stuff in sports that I want to get to. A little Hard Knock stuff, a little Heat stuff. There's also some twisted funny news, I guess, that we've got in sports. The other thing that I want to find out today is, oh God, also in basketball. I saw this morning that I didn't know. And wow, if you're a fan of this team, boy, your team's going to go down the shitter faster than ever. But one of the things I want to run by you guys is next week we're going to be in Atlanta for 4 days. So we will be there Monday through Thursday. Really, it's Monday through Wednesday, because Thursday morning I fly out and I'm back here at 11 because I'm on at 3 in the afternoon at Hialeah Park. So Thursday really doesn't count, but we're there Monday through Wednesday in Atlanta. And if I have Atlanta listeners, give me some tips, places that I should check out to eat, something like that. I got pretty much where I'm going to go, although maybe on the Tuesday, right? No, Tuesday, right? It is Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. You guys could tell me about a bar that maybe we can meet at if those of you that live in Atlanta. And it's got to be right in the area of the arena where the concert's at, because that's where we're staying. So it's got to be somewhere in the area of the arena, okay? If you pick a bar where we can meet at. So since I'm going to Atlanta next week, got to start kind of planning that too, so we can kind of hook up here. Let's see. Okay, just checking something out that was coming across the wire, but it's not sports. It's money related, so not as important to all of you out there. What else do we have here? Happy Hump Day Eve, Big O. How about those Marlins? They are giving us something to cheer for this summer, and I'm here for it. They are definitely playing well, dude. A lot better than I expected, I got to tell you. Where do I think Shannon Sharpe ends up? Where else? ESPN. Where else could he go? If you leave Fox, where else are you going to go? There's nothing else to do. It's very limited. You know what I mean? So I could see him going to ESPN and joining one of those shows that they've got in the morning. It's probably what will happen. He's got a strong following. He's developed himself into a talk show host. He's probably better than some of the people you already have on. So you'll probably bring him in, and eventually you'll cut a couple of people because he's probably going to take up a couple salaries. It's probably what's going to end up happening. ESPN's going to go through some serious cuts because they're going to be left out on an island by themselves. And so leaning on ABC and all that nowadays, those days are done. So there's going to be changes in that network. It's already happening, but it's just kind of the way it goes. But yeah. But too much politics involved with that. They don't allow you to be yourself. You know what I mean? So that's why it's kind of bogus. And you got to trend in one direction instead of trending in your own direction, which is a lot better. No, they're not trading Soler right now. But if things go awry by July 31st, they will easily trade Soler. That only makes sense. Let's see. They have 2 locations, one right next to the Braves Stadium. Oh, Antico Pizza. They have 2 locations, one next to the Braves Stadium, but there's the original location closer to downtown, which is better, a cool, authentic Italian-style pizzeria. But wait a minute, we're not at the Braves Stadium. We're over by the football stadium, right? If I'm correct. Hold on a second. I just want to make sure I got this right. So that way I know what the hell I'm talking about. Because, okay. Let's see. State Farm Arena. That's where I'm at. So it's where the Hawks play, right? State Farm Arena. So the bar's got to be close to the State Farm Arena. Okay, because I know our hotel is literally like blocks away from the arena. Okay, so we don't even have to rent a car or anything like that. So it's got to be close to that State Farm Arena. Okay, so if we pick a bar, is that pizza place, Eddie? Is that pizza joint next to or close to that arena, or is it too far away? That's the key. Mellow Mushroom. Oh, I love Mellow Mushroom. I've been to Mellow Mushroom in several places. I was so pissed when they closed the one on Sunset. That sucked, dude. Man, they put so much money into the Mellow Mushroom in Sunset. It was a crime to see that thing, fold the tent. That absolutely sucked. That place is awesome. I love Mellow Mushroom. Marlins is a Major League Baseball farm to the highest bid. Yeah, that's what they've been known for. No, not close enough to walk. It's probably a few miles away. Oh, okay. So yeah, no. Yeah, I probably won't. Is it worth? Do I get in an Uber to go there? Is that pizza that good that I got to get in an Uber? Tell me. I'll do it. I trust you, Eddie. You I trust. I've met you, so I trust you. Gotten to know you a little bit, so I know that you are no bullshitter. That's a good thing. Folks, don't forget to hit the hell out of the like button, please. It's the most important thing you'll do outside of visiting our sponsors or making a donation to the show. Hitting that like button is so important, and subscribing also, and helping us build the subscriber base and all of that. Really, 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 really important. That gets it going. GP Trap is in the house. He's checking in from the Keys. By the way, here's your hat. GP Trap. GP Trap gave me this hat. You were asking about it, right? I told you it was downstairs. Well, there you go. I got it from the downstairs this morning and wore it. Didn't know if you were going to watch or anything today, but today was a hat day, so I felt like wearing my this. By the way, this hat is really comfortable too. Not only is it a sharp looking hat, of course, but and it's got the Miami. You can't. I don't know if you can tell. It says Miami, but it's badass. But it's also super comfortable. That's the other thing about this hat. So very nice. Oh, does Dame end up with the Heat? Put it this way. I think he ends up in Portland or Miami. Okay? I'll put it that way. I'm not sure if he ends up here, but if he wants to get traded, I think it's Miami. I don't think he goes anywhere else. I know they've talked about Brooklyn, but they're not even close to winning. He can win a title here, at least have a shot at winning a title here with the foundation that they have right now. So if he doesn't play in Portland, he plays in Miami. I truly believe that. Okay, because unless there's another suitor that's as close to a title and is going after Dame, then maybe that becomes a challenge. But I don't know who it is. That hasn't really been. No one's talked about that. That there's a suitor next to the Heat that's not the Nets, but somebody that's legit. That is saying, one of the teams that is right there saying, yeah, we want Dame too. That really hasn't been talked a lot about. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go on a crazy limb. It's very hard to get this one right, but I'll go either he plays in Portland or he plays in Miami. How about that? That's what I think could happen. So let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. Martinez, California, checking in. That's where NorCal is at. GP Trap says, awesome hat. Yes, it is. Happy Marlins actually good day. Yes. J-Town in, sneak attack 305. First game for Messi is July 21st. That's right. Cruz Azul. Oh man, the pressure, LOL. I think it's worth it. If you like Napoleon style pizza, it's my favorite kind. Okay. All right, I'll talk to my buddy, and we'll see if we go. All right. Armando is giving us a good morning from North Myrtle Beach, vacationing and enjoying the show. Thank you very much for taking time out of your vacation to include us in it. That's pretty strong, Armando. Thank you very much, man. That's very nice of you. Green Lion says, I'd rather the Heat turn attention to Vucevic. I get what you're saying, but Lillard's more important right now. You can get another role player, and you don't have to spend the Vucevic-like money to get what you need in rebounding and some defense. That's where I think you can spend less and try to get other players to kind of fill those kind of roles. But I understand what you're saying, but you're not going to be able to squeeze Vucevic and Lillard inside the team. You know what I'm saying? So I just Lillard's the guy you need to help alleviate the workload from Butler every night. That's what's going to keep him hopefully on the court for more than the 80% of the games. Maybe he can play 90% of the games, because he can pace himself a little bit more and doesn't have to go crazy carrying the team night in and night out. I just think Lillard just offsets it so much for Butler, really takes that load off of him. And Lillard is used to being the number one guy, and he's better than Butler when it comes to scoring. That guy hits like a 30-foot three-pointer like it's nothing. Like it's ridiculous. Like he's just dribbling down court and he's like, well, nobody's covering me. I'm 7 feet behind the 3-point line. Heave. net. And you're like, what the hell? We don't have anybody like that on this team. And Jimmy's never going to be that player because that's not who he is. He'll hit an occasional three, but he's really a 2-point player. So you need the other guy, and that's Lillard. I just think he's perfect for what Jimmy needs, what the franchise needs, to give you a legitimate shot at trying to get over the hump and win a title. Because as good as Eric Spoelstra is, he'll get the defense to play better. They'll find a role player or two. Remember, you're freeing up the UD spot also. So now you can find a veteran rebounder, somebody that's going to be happy just doing the dirty work for you. And you kind of need that. So I think you'll be able to find a guy like that, in free agency or two. Because you probably won't bring back what's it called? Not Kevin Love. Maybe you'll bring Kevin Love back if he wants to play another year. But the other guy, Zeller. So you'll open up the UD and Zeller spots, and you can use that. And these guys are smart enough that they can find a couple of guys that can help them out with some defense and some rebounding and things like that. So I don't think you have to go the Vucevic road because then that's going to deter you from getting a guy like Dame Lillard. You know what I mean? So and again, I got to tell you something. I got to plead ignorance because the rules have kind of changed now. So some of this stuff I could be talking out of my arse. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So some of these rules have changed and I don't know them. So I don't know what restrictions and all that kind of stuff, but at least the simple one is the Lillard one first and foremost. Let's see if they can make that move. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the guy who can score 50 plus a game. I'm with you. Big O, did you know that Cruz Azul is a team that started from a cement company in Mexico? Of course, the company still exists. Yes, sir, I do. When Lillard talk is over and we don't get him, they will move on to the next name. What will Heat fans do? We are always getting every free agent, it feels like, with Heat fans. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it's been like that. Swing and miss, swing and miss, swing and miss, unless it's Dwayne Wade recruiting the guy for us. Did the Suns deal for Beal seem cheap? Yeah, it was all about cap space. Yep. That's why I still have a hard time believing that the Heat offered that deal. In fact, somebody else, another report I saw yesterday, kind of shoot down that Miami offered that. And the way Miami talked about that contract, according at least to Barry, that they couldn't stomach that contract. I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore nowadays. Let me see. I'm not a Heat fan, but if I was Pat Riley, would be so frustrating making deep playoff runs every year, an all-time great, but never makes the final move that is needed. Not never. It's just he hasn't been able lately. Not never, because there's several titles here, and they've gotten those guys. They got him back in the day, too, with Zoe and Timmy and all that. It was just Michael Jordan. So, and you finished it off with Zoe and with Shaq and Wade, and then you finished it off again with the big three. So things have gotten done here. It's just lately they haven't gotten done. Not never. Learn to use the English language the right way and learn to describe situations more accurately instead of giving a blanket statement that sounds incredibly ignorant when there's been a shit ton of success here. Let's see if also if you're close to Highland Bakery, they have an amazing and enormous peanut butter French toast. There's a few locations around Atlanta. I don't know if I want a peanut butter French toast. I'm not exactly sure I want peanut butter with my French toast, Eddie. That's kind of an odd combination for myself, at least. Maybe not for you, but for me, it's kind of an odd combination. I appreciate that. But, yeah, I don't know about that one. Let's see. Anyone know what time Pat Riley's addressing the Meteors? I think it's like at noon or 1 o'clock, if I'm correct. Something like that. The season ending press conference. So we shall see what we shall see. Let me see. Maybe I might have the release here, and I can tell you what time, and then we can eventually go over some of his comments and all of that. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let me see here. Don't see anything right now. I might have erased it actually. Hot dog at Dairy Queen. That's a really good one right there, Daniel. I should definitely have that in Atlanta. Find the first Dairy Queen and get a hot dog. That would be a good way to spend 3 days in Atlanta. Throwing up and looking like the woman from The Exorcist. I think that would make a lot of sense. I'm with you there. I think that's a hell of a suggestion by you, sir. By the way, how's the crypto market responding this morning? It's 26.7. It did hit 27 yesterday and then came back down a little bit. How about the markets? Where are we at? Woo, the Dow is down 340 points. S&P is down 35 points. The NASDAQ is 0.75 of a point under, so barely under. So not a good start to the day for the markets out there, just in case. If those of you are investing, it'll get better. Don't worry. I still think it's really the fourth quarter of this year. I think September, October is when it starts to really turn the corner. Okay. That's what I've been saying since late last year. And any of the pumps we've had throughout the first 6 months, to me, has been actually a miracle. But hey, I'll take it. I don't mind. But I don't think we start kicking till the fourth quarter and into 2024. I think 2024 is going to be a monster. They'll be opening up. They'll stop the interest rate hikes. They'll start to pivot, I think, maybe sometime next year. And they'll definitely start to print the money because, they want to get reelected in 2024. So they'll open up the printer and everybody will be happy and they'll be printing money and burying us even more. And we won't know and we won't care and we won't react. We'll just live in the moment and all that. And so, it's like so predictable what's coming. It's incredibly predictable what's coming. So, what we need is liquidity for the stock market and for the crypto market. Well, liquidity is coming, not just from the rich people that have the money on the side waiting for the right time to jump in, but also all the regular people out there that are going to see more money in and all that, and boom, everything will take off. So hang in there. It'll get better. Frankie says Colombia plays Germany in soccer this afternoon. Good test for Colombia to see if we can hang with a strong team. Germany's much better than they have been in years past. They were old, 4, 7, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, and they've gotten much younger now. They're better. Guys, I watched the Vivek interview Orlando told us about, and the young man is sharp. Actually discusses financial issues, the Federal Reserve, crypto, etc. I don't bullshit you guys. You know what I mean? I just wish at least the Republicans are giving us a list of candidates that I can go through, and I don't have to pick the old fart that's in the office or the orange man that some of you out there tolerate, which I don't know why, whatever. I don't want any of those guys. So I want fresh faces, but the Democrats are killing me. They're not allowing anybody to challenge the old fart. And I guess because they don't want to embarrass, the old fart. He embarrasses himself enough with falling all over the place and making stupid decisions. And his son's also a disaster. But, for them not to hold debates, that's so weak. At least with the Republicans, I get a whole bunch of new candidates, and maybe I can look at one that I may not agree with everything, but fiscally, Vivek, he is way smarter than most of the bozos that are running. Way smarter than the orangutan. Vivek has more brains in his toe than Trump has in his entire body. Okay? So, yeah, this guy Vivek is incredibly sharp, dude. Super smart. Okay? May not agree with everything. That's fine. That's just the way it goes. But I think fiscally, he can run our country a lot better than the clowns we've had here in the past. Actually, I'd like for somebody to actually even balance a budget. We haven't been able to balance a budget since Clinton, So this guy's got a shot. But he's so young, and I to think now that he has a shot, it's hard. You know what I mean? Because people are lazy, so they don't really work at trying to find other people, or they're blindly following what's already there. So think about that. The Dems don't want to find out if there's somebody better than Biden by having an open competition, an open debate, and all that. No, let's shut it down. And that's because they're counting on Trump winning, and then Biden will beat Trump easily. And if the Republicans get smart, all they have to do is come up with a different candidate, and they easily win. How screwed up is that? This election is made for the Republicans. All they got to do is come up with a different candidate than the orangutan. If they put the orangutan out there, the old bum will beat the orangutan by more than 7 million. He'll pound them by even more. It's crazy. Now, if they come up with any other candidate, Biden loses. That's what I think. Any of them. It doesn't matter who it is. They end up winning. It's a screwed up situation we're in. So anyway. DeSantis, fiscally very responsible. We can't argue with that. Morally, he's twisted. And what I don't like most of all from DeSantis is that he's a little vindictive bitch. That if you don't agree with him, he's very, he's like a little dictator. So it's only his way or that's it. But if you outsmart him or you beat him in an argument, then he gets pissed off. He doesn't try to learn from it and say, I'm wrong. You're right. I got to learn from that. No, that's not what he does. He's a vindictive little bitch is what he is. You know what I'm saying? DeSantis is just a punk, but he is smart with finances. That's why we have a surplus and other states are in a deficit, So I'll give him that. Business wise, he's not irresponsible with the money. And at least that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So it's tough, man. We're all in a tough situation because neither side really gives a shit about us. So it sucks. Did you see my next text about the Vortex? One of the best burgers I've ever had and a great vibe. I think you'll like it. Check it out online. Okay, now you're killing me with a whole bunch of things now. I'm not going to be able to remember everything. So let me write this stuff down. Okay. Thank you, Eddie. Big O, did you ever give your take on U.S. soccer and rehiring Greg Berhalter? I think they made a mistake. Frankie, U.S. soccer is a joke. That's our problem, is U.S. soccer. So our system is a problem. The way we go about things is a problem. We've gotten better, but it's almost by evolution, not because we have a great system in place. It's still how we scout talent, how we develop it, all of that. It's not really something that puts us in a advantageous position. You know what I'm saying? We have a great country. We should have one of the best soccer teams in the world, and we're so behind because our system is way behind. You know, and that's our problem. And U.S. soccer is the main issue with all the politics involved in U.S. soccer. They don't, instead of doing things the way you see other parts of the world do it, we try to reinvent the wheel when, you know, we're so behind on this sport. Well, we're not as behind as we used to be, but we're still behind that we still don't get it. So to me, U.S. soccer never takes that step forward until you gut the people that are running it and the people that are making the decisions, because they continually make the bad decisions. And not only that, they continue to regurgitate the same people over and over and over again. And it's like, yo, man, you only know a couple of names, so now we've got to bring them back. And is Jurgen Klinsmann going to get now a second shot also? Is that what we're going to do? Right? Because we already gave what was the other guy, the guy that was in DC United for many years. We gave him a second shot. We're giving Burkhalter a second shot. You know, it's a joke, dude. It's just a joke. There's no creativity there. There's no forward thinking. Sometimes you don't even play the best players, you know, and sometimes also these rich kids that have come up through the system, they're not even the best player that you can get, but because they were the rich kid and they had the resources, and they're also, you know, petulant, spoiled brats. You know, there's a lot of issues with U.S. soccer, bro. A lot of issues with U.S. soccer. We would already be a power if we were managed the right way, because we have the great athletes. That's all. All we have to do is get our, you know, some of our great athletes to start to play soccer, and then we'll be better. It is time to unleash the Wolf Pack.
We unleash the Wolf Pack as we get the latest in the NFL and the Miami Dolphins with our KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL Network insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370. Here's NFL insider Cameron Wolf.
Cam the man, how you doing, baby? You doing good?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Very good. Do you follow soccer at all? Like international soccer and
Once
US
every 4
soccer?
years, man. Once every 4 years.
So you're the casual fan, jumps on the jingoistic side. I got you.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Once every 4 years.
USA, Olympics, all that kind of stuff. I get
The first round.
Although, are you a weirdo like me? Would you watch track when it's not the Olympics? Because I do. When I run, it's not that I'm searching for it, but I swear to you, if I'm sitting on a Saturday afternoon and I run into a track and field meet, I'll stay and watch it. Actually, would you watch
track and field? But so I do enjoy track and field. Typically, definitely during the Olympics. I definitely watch track and field during the Olympics.
Of course.
And I would say if there's a storyline or a person I know in the race, I will watch. Like I watch women track a lot when the Sha'Carri Richardson story was going on and seeing how they would go about it. If there's I
just saw her lose the other day. Actually, she was a little mad.
Right. So so I would watch a lot of those races regularly.
She's slightly emotional.
Yeah. And so I watched theirs, and then obviously there's some men's racers that if their name popped up, I'd be like, okay, I'll stop and watch that. So
but we're always in the mix, men and women.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I'm always intrigued by Americans, but I gotta admit, I'm always intrigued by, hey, who's the next Jamaican badass?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, hell yeah! I definitely root for the Jamaicans. You know, if we're not there, I root. You know,
Oh,
I'm
wait,
bugging
you're Jamaican? You say
No,
we?
no.
Okay.
If we like USA, like if we're
Okay.
not there, if we're not competitive. Same with the Olympics. Like if there's a sport we're not good at, or like soccer, typically, um, from the men's side, I'll typically root for like a Jamaica or like an African country. I usually like a little bit of the underdog, in my perspective. So yeah,
I'm always intrigued by the Jamaicans because they are really good at track, dude. Like
Yeah.
really good at track.
Yeah.
Like it's like a small country that produces it, and I'm always amazed by. I'm not amazed that we produce it because we have 330 million people and the resources and all that kind of stuff. So we should be able to be great athletes. But man, when you're a little island and you're constantly doing it, it's always impressive.
They have
All
a
right.
they have a higher percentage. Like, and I don't know the numbers, but I'm sure it's the case. I'm sure they have a higher percentage of their kids who are active, more athletic, simply because they're outside. We're so consumed with technology, you know, because of that. We only get a small percentage, I'm guessing, of our youth who pursue in a significant level these athletic pursuits. And I'm guessing that a lot of Jamaica and some of these other countries, you're going to run, you're going to play sports because that's what your entertainment is to growing up. So I think a part of that is that. And also, it's probably in their genes. They are just a fast group of folks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, definitely, for sure. Cam, and I said this from the get-go that it's when it happened with Dalvin, that I think he ends up here only because nobody's going to offer him crazy money, and the best offers he's going to have is not going to be that much different when you take out state tax and all that to come to Florida. And then the difference between the team that's offering you, which I think it's not going to be a very good team, and then the possibilities of coming to Miami and winning a championship and signing a one-year deal. That's why I reported that he's open to a 1 or 2 year deal. But as time goes on, we're not hearing about people bringing in Dalvin. We're not hearing about offers or anything like that. And he knows what Miami's offering already. So is this, because I see it as a good thing that as time goes on, there's no vibe out there. There's nothing for him. I think eventually he ends up in Miami because of that. Agree or disagree?
Well, I don't know if he ends up in Miami or not, but I do think that you're right. I think we're looking at a situation right now where Dalvin Cook thought his market was down here and up here. And right now people are telling him it's not. And so he's got to decide. I think he would love to say, hey, I'll wait till training camp. Some team budgets, go ahead and makes that push and gives me what I want, or running back gets hurt and I get the money I want. But I think there comes some point, whether it's next week, whether it's next month, whether it's a week before the season, where he's going to decide and say, hey, it is what it is. This is the number I got, and I'm going to take my favorite offer. And I don't know, the Dolphins may be the highest offer of what he has or the most advantageous situation. But I think it's pretty clear right now, you know, he was set to make $11-12 million. Nobody's offering him anything close to that. And so the situation he has is, how much does it take? Like, what's that number where you're comfortable? Is it 8? Is it 9? Is it 7? Is it end up being 5 with incentives? I think ultimately, do you need a 2-year deal? Do you need a multi-year deal? These are things that he's got to ask himself, because the 12 number is not going to happen. So it's like, what else do I need? Do I need a 2-year for $5 million each and take the $5 million but get the guarantees? Do I need incentives? What do you need? And then what's more important to you? Do you need the absolute most dollar amount, or you say, hey, my favorite spot where I want to be, Miami, just come close to this number, come as close as you can, and I'll take it. And I think ultimately that's where we're at. And I think
Chris Greer is going to try to sneak in that 2-year special deal,
right? But that was going to say about
2-year deals.
The key is the second year have guarantees in it,
Right.
Because a lot of the Chris Greer specials is, hey, all your guaranteed money is year 1, and we have a free team option essentially for year 2. Whereas Cook, I'm sure, is like, hey, I'd love to have 2 years guaranteed if it's lower money. So that will be interesting to watch too. But yeah, I think it's obviously good news for the Dolphins, who weren't going to spend big money, that he hasn't had a lot of visits or offers, because clearly your evaluation of him in the market is probably right. It's probably right. And now we just kind of wait and see what he decides.
Yeah, and I think the Dolphins have handled this in a perfect fashion. Listen, I mean, it's all these backs. I mean, they're all having all these issues now. What was it yesterday that I talked about? Who was it? Joe Mixon now.
Mhm.
Now the Bengals may go to Joe Mixon and say, "Hey, Joe, we like you, but you got to take a pay cut." They may
Right.
even cut his ass if he doesn't take a pay cut. And of
Right.
course, Mike Brown's got to pay all these people now. His quarterback. By the way, there's no way Mike Brown pays for both receivers, right? I don't believe that. I don't believe he gives T. Higgins.
It's such a tough situation.
Teagan's going to get a number one deal. Like, he's a number one wide receiver, actually, on most other teams that isn't the Miami Dolphins and the Bengals and maybe a couple of other teams. T. Higgins is a number one wide receiver on most NFL teams. He's going to get paid that way. I can't see Cincinnati paying both number one wide receivers and the quarterback to Mike Brown, spending that kind of money, putting that kind of money in escrow. No.
So you're absolutely right. It's a tough question, because the Bengals historically have been, how can I say this kindly? One of the cheapest teams in the league. There's not really any way else to put it. But I will say recently they have been spending more, because they do realize this is a contending team. And if you ever want a Super Bowl, you have to maximize this window. And so they participated in free agency. They went and got, they signed La'el Collins last year. It didn't work out. They signed a few other people. And then this year they went and got Orlando Brown. And so they're trying to spend money. They're going to have to pay Joe Burrow an absorbent amount of money. And they can't cheap out there at all. Jamar Chase is going to get money. And so, yeah, absolutely. And so the question is, what is their limit? They're definitely going to spend way more than they ever intended to spend. But what do they have a cutoff? Like, I was talking to a family member about this yesterday. A lot of people get so caught up and think every team's equal with a cap. There are owners that are, all of them are rich, but they are poor compared to other owners, like, in perspective. And like you said, they're having to put $200 million away guaranteed or in a signing bonus for a Joe Burrow, and maybe another 60, 70 million for a Jamar Chase and signing bonus, and maybe more for a guarantee. Like, that's a significant amount of capital for the Browns, who may just not have that laying around. And so I do think there's a limit, but they have also been adamant that we're not trading T. Higgins. So that could be a situation kind of like where they're with Jesse Bates, where they make him play on the 5th-year option. Or actually, he's a second-year player, second-round pick. So tag him with the franchise tag and try to milk that thing out until they are forced to make a decision. And so they limit themselves on long term, but they sort of bide that clock a little bit on that window.
Yes and no, because now he's on a 1-year deal. He blows out his knee. Now you're not paying him, and you're not getting what you wanted in a trade, because right now you trade T. Higgins, and you're gonna get a lot.
Absolutely. You're gonna get a lot. They also could be looking at this perspective, right? I think this is the last year of T. Higgins' rookie deal, right? Next year we can franchise tag him. The year before we can franchise tag him too, if we want to. That's the max. We have 3 years left of T. Higgins' rights, quote unquote. They could say what you said and said, hey, the value might never be higher. Or they could say, we have at least 3 years, and if he has a down year or if he gets hurt, that's our time to swoop in and get him in for less and sign him to a long-term deal if we really believe in him. I mean, this is the way teams think. Probably isn't the way the player wants to be thought about it. Like, hey, he's playing on a 1-year deal. Like God forbid, T. Higgins tears his ACL in week 1 this year. His value's going down. Now the Bengals say, hey, you might have been asking for 20, 25 million a year with a bunch of guarantees. We're taking you coming off damaged goods. Maybe we get you for 15 now.
Right.
And so, like, these are the way teams think. And that's why, like, letting it bleed, milking it year to year with the franchise tag, it may be the route they choose, especially knowing Chase and Burrow are going to get paid.
That is very interesting. Robert Pereira on the chat board. This one's interesting. I already know the answer. I know you know the answer, but I like having fun with this.
Yep.
Big O, I heard on other chats that the Miami Dolphins are thinking about signing Tua to a contract extension. What do you think about that? So let me ask you, is there any talk about an extension right now? No. Right?
Sorry, you caught me in the middle of my protein shake sip. I've not heard anything in regards to contract extension. I think that you're going to be looking at
Roberto, is anybody credible talking about that? Okay.
I have not
just
heard anything.
Always no, but I'm talking to the chat, to the guy on the chat board, Roberto. Always ask yourself this question, okay? The person talking, are they a legitimate person? Do they actually cover the league? Do they have a credential? Do they have access? Oh, it's just a bunch of people talking? Well, then guess what? They know nothing. It's a YouTuber. They don't know anything. They can guess like everybody else, and we all can do that. But is it somebody credible? Is it a legitimate person? Is it Cam Wolf? Is it Marcel? Is it Joe Shad? Is it Rappaport? Is it somebody that's legitimate?
Right.
No, then it means nothing, bro. There'll be no extension for Tua till maybe 3 quarters into the season that he's kicking ass, and they'll say, all right, let's start the negotiations or something, or next year in the offseason or whatever. Tua's injuries and all that kind of stuff ended all of that. He has to follow up this season with a fully healthy season and prove that he can stay on the field and lead the team, and then they will make the commitment. But the commitment's not going to come until it's proven, my brother.
Yeah, I think you're looking next offseason. Injuries, I mean, as much as Dolphins fans don't like to hear it, injuries play a big factor in it. They think Tua's good enough when he's on the field, but he's not on the field enough. So he's got to prove that he can stay on the field, and then you can talk extension. And I think that I would be shocked unless Tua took a dramatic pay cut on what the salary is and had a lot of contracts that gave you insurances in regard to injuries, injury guarantees. And I know his agent. I don't think his agent is going for any of that. So Tua, all you got to do is stay healthy, stay relatively healthy, play most, if not all, of the season, and leave this into the playoffs. Maybe win a playoff game. You're going to be inking a big time extension. If not,
exactly
questions to answer. So that's the situation.
You know, what you have to be happy about, Roberto, and every other Dolphins fan out there is, okay, so this dude blew out his hip. He, within months, 9 months, okay, was ready to play in an NFL game. Shows you his commitment. Then he builds up the core in the last offseason. So he looked better in his second season. And then this past year, after having the concussions, what does he do? He now builds up the upper part of his body. Okay. Right. So as a professional, you cannot be more professional than Tua Tagovailoa, who addresses anything and everything that happens to him. So now the next part is the play. Well, now you've seen it. He can play. So the last part of this whole equation is durability and staying away from injury. So it's up to him to make those decisions. The beauty is, and I think you would agree with me, Cam, everything is in place for him to be a franchise guy, to be a long-term guy. He's just got to prove one thing left.
Yeah, that's it. So it's interesting. It's interesting the questions on Tua have changed as time's gone on because I was talking to a buddy about this year, coming into this year, like around this time last year, the big question around Tua is his arm strong enough? You go get Tyreek. Can he feed his playmakers? Is he going to waste Tyreek? Tyreek puts up the best year of his career numbers-wise. Jalen Waddle also puts in top 10 numbers receiving-wise, and he shows that he can support two not only 1,000-yard, 1,300-yard plus receivers, right? And so now that question's been answered, and now the question is solely, which had been a question throughout, but solely on health, right? And so I think that Tua is set up in a situation where you still have those two receivers that you were flourishing with. They went and got you a little bit more talent. When we talk about, Chosen or Braxton Berrios or a Devon Achane. You have even more talent. And so as long as the offensive line, which is still a big question of mine, can protect you and you stay healthy, then yes, a unit that was a top 5 offense last year when you're on the field should be top 5 again, if not top 3. I think when you talk about the best offenses of football, you have to talk about the Dolphins up in that group. Like the Chiefs are probably there, the Bills are probably there, the Eagles are there, the Bills are there, and the Dolphins are right there too. To me, that's the top 5 in whatever order you want to put it. If all players are healthy in the teams I mentioned.
Yeah. That to me, and that's the best part about in this season where you are with your quarterback, that it's all, at least the questions aren't about can you play, which is the main question for any quarterback out there. Can they figure things? Can they read defenses? Can they be accurate? Can, all those kind of things. So now, the professionalism is there. The dedication is there. The ability is there. It's the availability. That's the only thing that's left, for Tua. And it's up to him this year. Hopefully he'll show us also that he will make better decisions too. So it's not just about bad luck. It's about him bringing on bad luck to himself too at the same time. So those are that's really what it's all about. And that's what should make you feel better. Nobody should be talking about extensions at this point in time. There's way bigger hurdles before you get to the extension, and that's availability. On the offensive line, what's going on with Connor Williams? What do we know about this situation?
Yeah, as of now, all I know is that Connor Williams would love an extension, and the Dolphins and Connor are not close right now on what that number would be. And so that's essentially the situation. We're going to watch as we go closer to training camp. Does either side budge a little bit? Do Dolphins give Connor a little bit more of what he wants? Does Connor decide to play regardless? The question I don't know is if there's no extension. If the Dolphins say, hey, no, you're playing this year out, what does Connor do? Because that is the big question. If there's extension, it'll be announced whenever it's done. All is good, kumbaya, happy days, right? The big question is, what if it doesn't? What if we show up July, I don't know if they've announced their day yet, but July 25th-ish, whatever it is, 26, and there's no extension, and we're waiting to see if Connor Williams does or does not show up. Then it becomes a little bit more difficult. Then if he decides to say, hey, I'm going to sit out, or the new route, hold in, so I get paid but don't show up, then you start to have some difficulties. But as of now, I have not heard anything in regards to, hey, expect a Connor Williams extension any day now. And we shall see. But we still have another month, and typically deadlines spur action. And so one of those deadlines could be training camp if Connor Williams is really going to be hardline and say, hey, I'm a holdout. So right now, I'd say it's a moderate concern. But obviously, if we get to training camp, no extension, and Connor holds out, then it becomes a major concern.
Okay. What are you working on over at the NFL Network so folks can check you out?
Yeah, I actually did some TV yesterday on Total Access, talked a little Dolphins defense and Vic Fangio and some things there. I was out at the celebrity softball game over the weekend, sent some videos out. Jalen Waddle went yarder quite a few times, and Tua hit a home run on his first at bat. And so that was fun. But this week should be relatively light, man. I already did my TV day for the week, and so I'm gonna. My wife's in Vegas watching Usher. I sent her to Usher concert out in Vegas, and so I'm on solo dad duty, and so I'll just be hanging out with my daughter through Thursday, and so that'll be it. It'll be light week or two ahead for the rest of the month for me.
That's her favorite, Usher?
One of her favorites. She's a big Usher. She likes Chris Brown as well.
Wow, a woman that likes Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll take her to a Chris Brown concert.
She gets over the other.
I guess so. I sent her all the links. I sent her all the links, and she just ignores me. I'm like, so clearly she's liked Chris Brown for a while, and so she says she likes his music, not necessarily him as a person, and she can compartmentalize.
It's hard to like the person. It's almost impossible to like the person. He is talented as hell. Right. I mean, the dude can dance his ass off, bro. Like, yeah. And what else? What else is she into? Usher, Chris Brown. What else?
She actually likes some country music, which I do not like. But she's a country music fan, so I don't know who all her favorites are, but she's definitely
Country's more modern music now. It's not so twangy anymore. It's got a lot of pop, a lot of rock, some rap in it. Country's changed, dude. It's
good for country and everybody who listens to it who is not me.
What's go to 3? What's your favorite 3?
I'm a hip hop rap guy, and so
anything top 3. What is it? What rocks you? Top 3.
So currently, Big Crit is a big favorite of mine. Is a Mississippi artist who's a rapper. I'm a big J. Cole fan, and so I really like J. Cole. And Drake is probably the most popular artist that I listen to a lot, and so he would probably be up there as well. But it's from a more localized perspective, Meek Mill is definitely a favorite of mine too. I grew up in the Phillies, Jersey area a while, so that would probably be my group of folks that I listen to the most.
My daughter's with you on J. Cole. She loves J. Cole, man. I got her tickets for a J. Cole concert couple years ago too. She loves J. Cole, dude.
Yeah, J. Cole is fire, man. But I'll tell you what, I'm getting into some new age rappers. Like Lil Baby is a big one for me. I listen to him a lot. Benny the Butcher is a guy in Buffalo. I listen, out of Buffalo that I listen to. And so yeah, I try to.
Are those mumble rap guys or
so I would consider that. I would not consider either one of those mumble rappers.
Okay,
you're talking more like you probably would be bothered by like a Lil Uzi Vert, who's also a Philly rapper, who's a little bit more of that mumble style. I like him too, but he's a little bit more party club music. He's the guy who makes the "I Just Want to Rock" song. I don't know if you've heard that one. Yes. That's Lil Uzi Vert. So a little bit more mumble, but he still has some bangers in there. And so yeah.
Okay. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolf. And catch him next week on the NFL Network since he already did his hit this week. All right, Cam.
You got to get our break in the summer, man.
Enjoy the daughter. Enjoy daddy daycare all week, my man.
All right, I will.
You got it. There you go. Cameron Wolf, baby. And KSDT CPA. Hey, government's going after a lot of the people that have not paid their taxes. So listen, maybe you're going through some rough times, or you were going through some rough times, or still going through some rough times. Avoiding that stuff, that doesn't help any of us, okay? Because they're going to catch up to you one way or the other. But the best thing is to have guidance, to have people that are knowledgeable and understand the laws and the rules, so that way they can work to your favor and not work to your disadvantage. And that's what happens when you avoid it. You don't do the right things. They're going to take advantage of you. Call KSDT CPAs. Use that QR code that you see there. Put it out. You get your phone out. Put the picture out on photo and aim it there, and that'll give you a link. Hit that link and call the great people at KSDT CPAs. Doesn't matter where you're at, dude. The government, they got nearly $80 billion extra dedicated to IRS agents, and they're going after people that have not paid their taxes in the past few years. So call them, or if you weren't able to file just recently, they can help you get an extension, get you back on track. 305-670-3370. Tell them that Big O sent you. Office is in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, but they can help you out anywhere, man. Just give them a ring on the phone. You can do all of this by phone. 305-670-3370 for KSDT CPAs.
This has been the KSDT CPA Pro Football Report with NFL insider Cameron Wolf. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full-service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit them at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean.
you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. How you feeling, my man?
Feeling great. Oh, how are you?
Very good. So I see Isaiah Wong is working out for the Lakers and the Heat. And what do we know about Isaiah Wong? Does he have a shot at getting drafted?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's probably going to be a second-round pick somewhere in the 40s to 50s. I think there's some NBA teams who obviously like him. And you know, being a second-round pick, usually a team – is really into you, right? And if they like you in the second round, they want you to be on the roster, or at the very least, in their organization. So I think Isaiah Wong's going to make it, man. He's going to be on an NBA team at some point.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd come back one more year. I don't know if he needs the money or something like that, or I don't know what his financial, situation is. Kevin Riley. Mario has recruited several running backs now. It looks like he's building up that group there. Tell me a little bit about Kevin Riley. Tell the Canes fans what's Kevin Riley about.
Yeah, top 100 recruit in this class. Kid out of the Tuscaloosa, Alabama area. Right there in Nick Saban's backyard, so it's never really over until it's over, right? Until the kid signs on the dotted line. But for right now, he's really into Miami. He shut down basically the rest of his recruitment to commit to the Hurricanes after a visit. And really good player, 5'11", 195 pounds. Explosive. Can do a lot of things in the passing game as well. I think ultimately here, like you said, Mario's doing a phenomenal job recruiting some elite ball carriers. I think ultimately, this coming season, we will see the air raid offense. We will see Tyler Van Dyke throw it a lot. We will see a lot of spread. But at his core, I've tried to tell you over and over again, and as well as other Canes fans, Mario Cristobal loves to run the football. And he's got a stable of really good of backs. Mark Fletcher is going to be a guy as a true freshman this year. I think that's going to make an impact. And then Christopher Johnson as well, a very speedy guy who you'll probably see on some special teams and kickoff return, etc. You have some guys that are really fast and explosive, and they need more of that in this offense for sure.
I have no problem with running the ball. I'm actually really happy if you run the hell out of the ball. Because if you run the hell out of the ball, you make your quarterback that much more dangerous. That's one of the things that pissed me off about McDaniel last year, is that when he had the running game going, he would abandon it at times. And to me, that puts your offense at a disadvantage, and you put your quarterback at a disadvantage when you're forcing the pass on a consistent basis, and there isn't enough of the run game to kind of complement. So to me, that'll be something refreshing to see them get back to it, because if you go think about those championship years, okay, yeah, Michael Irvin was running and all those guys, but there was always somebody to hand it off to, bro, and there was always an impactful running back making an impact, in that game on a consistent basis. In fact, one of the biggest losses ever was because you didn't stay with the run in Highsmith and Jimmy Johnson in the Fiesta Bowl, where all you had to do was just keep handing the ball off, because the way they were playing defense, they were flooding the zone, waiting for you to pass, and Highsmith was getting 6 yards to carry. So to me, running is never an issue, because eventually it makes you a more potent passer if you run. That's
well, all. they didn't have the linemen to run the football when Mario first got here. At least not run the ball the way that he wanted to. That's been an area that's been lacking, and obviously they addressed that in the offseason. Got some really good transfers in here from UCF and Alabama, two guys, Matt Lee and Javian Cohen, that are going to make a huge difference, I think, in the inside in terms of running the ball between the tackles, which is what Mario wants to do. He wants to have that pounded out and keep the other team's offense off the field. That's how they won at Oregon. They ran for a boatload of yards at Oregon, and they won, two Pac-12 titles with him playing this way. So I know it could anger some fans, especially those who wanted to see Oregon throw the ball more and use some of their weapons. But I think right now Mario's got to play to his strengths. And while this team will throw the football with Tyler Van Dyke this coming season, I think you look at it down the road, you look at a guy like Jakari Brown, how explosive he is in the running game. You get some dangerous backs in there with him, and he's the quarterback once Tyler Van Dyke leaves. Hey, if they're running for 250 yards and beating teams by possessing the football, I'm all for it.
When is the remodeling of the practice facility going to end? Is that something that goes into 2025 or 2024? What's the deal?
Well, as far as just the indoor practice facility and the upgrades that they're making there, those are pretty much done. You're talking about the big massive football center that they want to build.
Extending the field, right, and all that kind of stuff that they have to do. I haven't been by there, so I don't know.
Right.
I have to ignorance. I don't know if they've started the construction of all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think they already started doing all that kind of stuff. In terms of they have to be ready for the football season, right? So I think all of that has been in the works.
I don't know permits and Coral Gables and I don't know all that kind of shit. It gets kind of crazy. So that's why I asked. So they're going to have their 120-yard field for the football season? Is that what you're saying?
I think they are. I think that's already been in the process of happening. And then as far as the overall football facility, the space age thing that Mario wants, that's the bigger deal. That's the thing that they've been raising all that money for, and trying to get going. And that's not going to be for another 3 or 4 years probably, from what I was told the last time I had a conversation with some folks over there about that. So that's still a long ways off. But in terms of upgrading the facilities, making it 100 yards, all that other kind of stuff, I think that process already started.
Well, Manny, when we start talking about the recruiting time here, what's this window here? When does it close?
Well, now the official visit period will end, I think, after the 25th. I think that's the last weekend, before things kind of go dark, and you're not allowed to have official visitors again, I think, until the football season. So, but listen, nowadays kids make all kinds of unofficial visits, and they come by campus whenever they want. There's going to be guys coming by once practice starts pretty regularly. The unofficial visits are almost more important than the official visits in my mind, though, because where the kids go, where they are, and where they spend most of their free time when they're not on official visits tells you who they're really considering. And so, when kids show up to practice, when they show up to games, that'll tell you how Miami's doing on the recruiting trail.
Baseball, what's going to happen there?
Yeah, I think they're in the process of interviewing guys. I know they've interviewed a handful of guys. At least that's what I've heard anyway. I think Troy Tulowitzki was one, a former Texas assistant coach.
Colorado
Rocky.
Rocky.
Yeah, obviously JT Arteaga has been there, the pitching coach for many, many years. I know they took a look at him. Paul Maneri with LSU is another name that's been out there. Paul, of course, went to Miami-Dade College and was here in South Florida for many, many years. Won national championships at LSU. He's kind of an older guy now, but still a guy who knows how to run a baseball program. So, there's been names sort of shuffled around. I don't know that they're racing to make a decision. I think this is an important one for them. They've had a program I know it hasn't gotten to the College World Series in a few years, but they're still a 40-plus win program every single year. There's still a lot of talent to work with in this area. So they want to make the right kind of hire. And the Damari thing, I know, did catch them off guard. I know that they were very surprised that he decided to step down as coach.
Is it too hard to win there now?
I think it is, though. I think, unfortunately, when you're a private school and you're costing upwards of $60,000 a year in tuition, and baseball scholarships can only get stretched so far, NIL can only stretch you so far. I think it's tough. And look, the University of Florida, I've always said this. If the Gators take off, and they've won a College World Series not too long ago. They've been there in the final a couple times. It looks like they're going to go to the final again this year. When they're thriving, that makes things really hard on Miami, because I think all of the best players want to go play for a program that A, is a cheaper school than Miami, and B, is contending for championships, right? And putting guys into Major League Baseball frequently. So that's a disadvantage you are when you're a private school, and unfortunately for Miami, right now the Gators have it rolling.
And FSU is also more affordable than University of Miami.
FSU,
I just find it.
Yeah.
I just find it just seems like you're at a disadvantage at the University of Miami because parents can only pay so much, and unless you're recruiting a kid that his parents have money and they don't care about paying the tuition, well, then you're good. But if they care about paying the tuition because they can only afford so much, well, then you're going to lose them to Florida and Florida State and FAU and FIU and all these other places.
Yeah, and I think the transfer portal makes it that much harder too, because there's some good players that come here as true freshmen that, they got older guys in front of them that are better, that are more developed. Some of those guys don't want to wait around, and so you're seeing the transfer portal affect Miami and other programs where guys are going to take off and say, hey, I can go to Louisville, I can go to Duke, I can go wherever, and have the same type of opportunity to make it to the College World Series. And so I think those things are going to happen more and more. So you're right. I think it is harder to win in Coral Gables these days than before. But to me, the main factor is University of Florida. When Florida is rolling the way that they are, it makes things really tough.
Yep, no doubt about that. All right, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. What do you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out?
Yeah, this week on Friday and Saturday, the Under Armour Future 50 is taking place over at IMG Academy. I'll be driving up there for that. A lot of the elite national kids in the 2025 class. So I'll have a report from there from some of the best kids that Mario Cristobal will be going after next cycle. What else? Thursday, I believe, is Miami's big camp for underclassmen. So there'll be some coverage from Coral Gables for that as well. That'll be going on, I think, from 11 to 1 p.m. So I'll be down there watching that and observing that, and more recruiting, man. More coverage of that. The Gators, by the way, I know this is a Canes show, but Gators, Billy Napier kicking some ass on the trail right now. They've gotten 5 blue chip players here in the last 48 hours, 72 hours. So Mario's got some competition.
All right, there we go. Let's find out. And remember, go to Caneswear, order over $99. You'll get free shipping. But if you want to drive over at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, go check it out for yourself. They got practically anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. Plus, you can go get a Messi jersey. You can get Inter Miami gear. Get ready for that Messi, homecoming here. And then, of course, they've got Marlins gear. They've got Dolphins.
Those Marlins.
Gear. Yeah, baby. Yeah, come on. The Marlins are red hot right now. So enjoy that. And go to Caneswear or visit them at caneswear.com. Manny, appreciate you. We'll catch up on Friday. Thank you.
All right, brother. Talk soon. Take care.
You got it. That's our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
All right. So Jake Fisher, senior NBA reporter for Yahoo Sports and The Ball Don't Lie, he says Portland won't trade the number 3 pick unless it nets one of several premium targets to pair with Damian Lillard, league sources told Yahoo Sports. The Blazers are preparing a significant offer for Miami's Bam Adebayo and other notes around the league, he says. So there you go. Jake Fisher. And Ira retweets, and we're at the time of the year. Portland is preparing what the team believes to be a compelling package for Miami to part with all defensive centerpiece Bam Adebayo. Depends on what you're offering me. Oh, Lordy. Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. We're back. Sorry about the technical difficulty there, but we'll see what happens. Portland going to offer a new a package for Bam Adebayo. All right, Charles Schwab, Citadel to launch Bitcoin and crypto exchanges. I'm loving this, man. That is awesome. Romanian prosecutors, by the way, seized 21 Bitcoin from Andrew Tate. That sucks. Right there. German bank with 1.4 trillion in assets. Deutsche Bank applies for license to operate crypto custody services. MasterCard files trademark application, develop crypto and blockchain software. Yeah, no, Bitcoin, don't worry. It's not going to grow. Remember, okay? First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, and now they're in the middle of fighting you. And then they join you. So all this FUD and everything, like I've told you, it's been FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's all they cloud everything out there to make you think, oh no, Bitcoin's evil and crypto's evil and all that, and Yellen and Gensler and Biden and Warren and these idiots, all these useless morons, and they scare you because they want their rich friends to scoop it all up first, like they control in the banking. That's why do you think BlackRock is also now going to filing for a Bitcoin ETF? Because they're going to get it. Because they know what's coming. I've been telling you for a while now, right? I've been telling you for well over 2 years now about this. And no matter what they tell you, what they're telling you and trying to, scare you out there, it's not what they're actually doing behind the scenes. So they can create all the FUD they want. Crypto, blockchain, Web3, it's going to take over whether you like it or not, because it's the most fast, most efficient, most secured way for all of us to do our daily business, our fun, whatever it is. You're going to be doing it through a blockchain. It's coming, whether you like it or not. Okay, but it's all right. It's okay. I get it anyway. You don't believe that planes will fly. You don't believe we'll go to space. You don't believe cell phones will be useless. What's this Twitter thing? This is life. Every time something new comes, the world is shocked. And then you get a whole bunch of people that don't believe it. And then eventually, then they understand that, oh, God, yes, this is good. This is real. The internet? Come on. That's a joke. Oh, now your entire world is on the internet. And they were laughing at the internet also. They avoided it. They laughed at it. They fought it. And then they joined. That's just kind of the way the whole process goes, for many things in life. I'll never get a beeper. Well, you ended up with one. I'll never get a cell phone. Well, you ended up with one. I'll never get email. Well, you ended up with one or two or three. It's all good in the hood. It's just time. You just got to give it time. You just got to be strong. And you can't listen to the people that are manipulators, including our government officials. The people you elected. Yes. The people you think are looking out for your best interests. Yeah. Those people. Anyway. Just hilarious, bro. Hilarious. True Fin Fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. Idle blow. Either blow the heat up now. What better time? Well, I mean, if you're not going to get that other star, it's not going to get any better. So yeah, you might be better off rebuilding. But I doubt they'll deal Bam. I think what you want to do is try to get that other star. That's what you got to do. And he likes Bam to help him out on defense. But he'll be shocked living here and then he has to live in Portland. Oh my God. That would be shell shock to have to live in that place. Can anybody tell me another player in the league that does what Bam does all around? Nope. Nobody can. Big O, would you trade Bam for the number 3 pick? I'm not smart enough to know how good that number 3 pick is and who the player is and is it worth it, to be quite honest. That would be pure ignorance on my part, dude. I don't know. I don't think so. I think if you're the Heat, if you trade Bam, then you might as well trade Jimmy and blow up the entire team, because you're a star away from competing for a title. Bam's fine. There's nothing wrong with Bam. Just because I don't consider him a star doesn't mean he's not a hell of a player. He can help you in so many ways. What you need to go get is another offensive, stud. Okay? And if it's not Dame Lillard, I don't know who it is, bro. Zach LaVine? Not sure, but you got to get somebody else to try to make a run if you're going to do it. I just don't see them trading Bam right now, because you're closer to a title than you are rebuilding. All you got to, but you have to get that legit star. If you don't, Bam's not that star. He's not going to help offensively, Jimmy on the other side every night. He just can't do it. It's not who he is. It would be kind of a crime that you've gotten to 3 Eastern Conference Finals, 2 NBA Finals, and you can't find. Boy, if you have to blow up the team, then that's a real. That's what we call, that's an indictment on Riley and the front office's failure to be able to land another star. So you gave up and gave in and sold everybody off. I don't think you want to send that message. So that's why the whole thing, they can make an offer. Well, maybe if it's an offer you can't refuse, then that's a whole different ballgame there. Big O, we're rolling in Bitcoin. My woman and her investors are loving it. Bitcoin up 500 today. Got to 27 yesterday. Dude, it's about to pop and go into the mid 30s. I don't know when, but it is. The hash rate is the value trails the hash rate, and the hash rate right now are at its all-time highs. I mean, the transactions and everything, it just increases. It's what people don't understand. And the Lightning Network now extended to like 60 countries. And the fact that you've got, a couple of companies that are like Jack Dorsey's company is latching on to the Lightning Network. And this is just, as the network grows and as the usage grows, and then as people are going to be using it on a daily basis to buy their coffee and their food and a house and a car and all that, it's going to explode to crazy ass numbers. And those of you that sat on the sidelines and never bought any Bitcoin, you're going to freaking regret it every single time. You're going to hate your life for not doing it, because it would have been an easy ass investment for anybody $10, $100, whatever you can invest, $100,000, whatever you can afford, you're going to regret it. Guaranteed. Okay? Not a financial advisor, just a guy that loves crypto, but just a guy that also has an incredibly strong feeling where our world is going. And the adoption is happening all over the world. Just because we're slow and stupid because of the people we have in the top, when you've got an Elizabeth Warren who's dumb as bricks, you can't do anything. You know what I mean? These old farts, bro. That's what they are. Old farts, old geezers that cannot adjust. And that's it. They're set in their ways and their dirty ways of probably making money from the banking institutions. So they don't want to screw, the people that support them. So keep rolling, Brian. Keep rolling, baby. Big O, I just got tickets to see Bryan Adams and Joan Jett tonight. I can't go. Do you want them? Yeah, hell yeah, I want them. Hells to the yeah, I want them. Send them over. Love it. Send them over, Jack. That's what we need. Send them over. Appreciate that. Jack, do you have a Twitter feed? If you have a Twitter feed or Instagram, send it to me, Jack. Send me a Twitter feed or a Instagram feed, whichever one you have. I'll send you my email to send them to me. Okay? There you go. If it's true. Send me what is your Twitter feed, and I'll send you a DM. Okay? Send me whatever your Twitter feed. Oh, you asked on Twitter yesterday? Dude, you know how I apologize, Jack, and everybody else. It's not just for Jack. Everybody. Dude, my Twitter feed on my DM, it's freaking it's a mass of humanity back there, and I can't go through them every day. It's just brutal, dude. And I'm blessed, but wow, let me see. On Twitter you sent it? I don't see it. Did you send me like a tweet or a DM? Because, if you send me a tweet, now that's really hard. There's a lot of tweets that come in, bro. I can't read all the tweets, Jack. I'm sorry. Send me a DM on Twitter. You know what a DM is, right, Jack? Send me a DM, please. That's what I need. That way we can contact each other directly through DM. Okay? That's very nice of you, dude. Thank you. Very nice of you. I'm looking for your tweet, my brother. I don't see it. Now, is it called Jack? Oh, you're going to send a DM now? Thank you. There you go. Appreciate that, man. That's very nice of you. Very nice of you. I love a little Brian. First time I saw Bryan Adams, 1982, Rock Super Bowl. Unfortunately, Randy Rhoads died 2 days before in a plane crash over by Tampa. So it was supposed to be Foreigner and Ozzy. Foreigner 4 was out. Foreigner 4 was an, Urgent, Jukebox Hero, all that stuff. It was just an amazing album. They had a big old jukebox that inflated up. It was like a 20-foot jukebox when they played Jukebox Hero. And so Ozzy could not make it. So they replaced Ozzy with Pat Travers and UFO. That's freaking awesome. No Michael Schenker. Schenker was done at that moment, I think, if I remember correctly. 82. Somebody look it up for me. Was Schenker? I don't think Schenker was there. I want to say Schenker was gone right there and then at that time. So the opening act was some Canadian kid nobody knew about named Bryan Adams. This was before Cuts Like a Rock, his first big song and all. No one knew who Bryan Adams was. There was no MTV songs, none of that. He was not known at all. Okay. I saw him a year later in the Miami Baseball Stadium with Aerosmith, Sammy Hagar, and Journey. And it was the Frontiers Tour, right? It was 83 or 84, I think, at Miami Baseball Stadium. And Journey opened up, and then Hagar was second, and Aerosmith was third, and Bryan Adams was the opener, actually, at that time. And Cuts Like a Knife was out at that time. Okay? But going back to that concert. So at that concert for the Orange Bowl, the stage was in front of the north stands. So we only got half the bowl. Okay? It wasn't like in the end zone for the whole bowl. No. It was half the stadium. So less and the field. Okay? So you had half the field and half the bowl. Okay? Watching it. And so Bryan comes out and he's singing and he sings this song that's kind of mellow. I've seen him two other times since then, and maybe I might see him tonight, I guess, thanks to Jack. So he comes out and he has this song. I've never heard this song. I don't know what the name of the song is or what. It must be from one of his first album or something. And in the middle of the song, it goes, she said, "Take me back." And I said, "F you." And nobody was listening to Bryan Adams at all. Nobody was paying attention to Bryan Adams. Everybody was just waiting for UFO and Pat Travers and Foreigner. And when he said F you, the whole place went crazy. I remember that. I can still remember that to that day. And we had a big food fight, by the way. If anybody went to that one, I was on the field when we had the food fight. That was good. So there you go. That's my Bryan Adams story from 1982. So you sent me a DM. Let's see. I don't have a DM from you. No DM. Are you saying Twitter or Instagram? Let me go to my Instagram. I got nothing there, Jack. I got nothing. So I have not gotten it. It's Big O Show. You know that, right? Big O Show. Okay. On Twitter, Big O Show. On Instagram, Big O Radio Show. Oh, smoking. Oh, you're talking about snorting whiskey, drinking cocaine. Got a feeling, gonna drive that girl insane. Oh, I'll give you a story. I have Pat Travers on the show. So I told Pat, hey man, I told him the story. I said, I was in 82. I had Pat on my show maybe like 10 years ago, I want to say. And he was performing at a place. And I was going to go see him that night. So I had him on to kind of, promote it. QAM would bust my balls whenever I'd have a rocker on. But anyway, whatever. So I have Pat Travers on and we're talking. I said, hey, Pat, I saw you back in 82 when you filled in for Ozzy. And he goes, I got a crazy story for you about that. And he told it on air. And he said, when Randy Rhoads died, okay, the promoters called Pat Travers and asked him, would you step in and fill in for Randy Rhoads at the Rock Super Bowl in Orlando? Because we had just lost, Randy. And Pat told me that he mother effed those guys. He like, what the hell is wrong with you people? I just talked to Ozzy. He's distraught. He's torn apart. He's not doing any show. Because promoters, did you ever see Dirt with Motley Crue? And how there was a scene where the promoter wanted to get them on the road. And then the manager says, if we take these guys on the road, one of them may not come back. One of them may not ever come back from it, may die right on the road. And the promoter was like, we need the money, get them on the road. Like they don't care. So these promoters were the same way. They don't care. So they thought Ozzy was in the state of mind that after losing Randy, who meant a lot to him, because it was like a find for him because he plucked him out of Quiet Riot. Okay, it wasn't Calvalzo and all those. No, it was Randy Rhodes that was there in Quiet Riot. Calvalzo came in after. But anyway, so Rhodes dies and Ozzy is devastated. And it comes out after that Ozzy was devastated with this. And Sharon had to kind of convince him to get back and get on the horse again and start doing it because he really loved Randy. And so Pat like mother effed him and said, you guys, you don't even know this guy. You guys are making plans without him. He doesn't want to do a concert. I'm not doing that. I'll go with my band to fill in, but I'm not playing with Ozzy because I just talked to Ozzy. There's no way he's doing this. So you guys better call him and straighten that out, because if he finds out you're trying to replace Randy and get him on stage in the next day, he's going to be pissed, because this is literally the day before the show. So Pat Travers would have to go in there and learn all the songs right away. That would be crazy stuff, but whatever. I mean, Pat Travers is an amazing guitarist, so he probably could learn it, but still, just doesn't make any sense, dude. It's just ridiculous. But they wanted Pat Travers to take over for Randy for that concert. How crazy is that? There you go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Jack, we got you. We got you. Here we go. Here we go. I got you, buddy. I'm going to send you my email. It's very nice of you, man. I'm going to take the wife tonight. I need somebody like you. Everybody needs somebody. All right. Little Summer of 69. I like it, man. That's right. Boom, boom. Out go the lights. You know what's one of my favorite songs of Pat Travers is I la 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 love you. It's in Valley Girl, the movie Valley Girl. That it's in there. It's a great song, dude. Love that song. Excellent. What else do we have here? I'll be happy when this NBA draft is over. Can't stand all the rumors. Well, that's kind of the way it goes, man. Everything goes like that. Let's see. Riley doesn't build through the draft. He makes deals. Yeah, but you use the picks that they give you to then go get, players. That's kind of what it is. You use the capital not to build on young guys, but to draft for an established veteran. Listen, let's be honest. 99.9% they will not trade Bam Adebayo. It's a nice story that this guy's posting, and it might be absolutely accurate that the Trailblazers are putting together a sexy package. What's it going to include? The third pick and what else? You know what I'm saying? But again, I just can't see them really doing it. It's just hard for me to believe that. Oh, hearing a lot of hero criticism on ESPN regarding potential trade packages for Dame. Is Hero not a quality player to return to Portland? Yeah, he is. He's had injury history. That's been the problem with him. But, that's not a deal that is sexy anymore for the Heat, because the last 2 years he's been very injury prone. He's one of those guys that I would love to unload. Oladipo, Lowry, Tyler, these are deadbeat contracts, bro. Tyler's got skills, but he's fragile. He breaks down all the time. can't be relied on. You've made 2 runs to the Eastern Conference Finals. You were 1 shot away from the finals. And this year you went to the finals and played through 5 games, all without Tyler Hero. And I got to tell you something. I don't think Tyler Hero makes a bit of a difference. Doesn't get you into the NBA Finals last year and doesn't win you anything extra this year. I don't think Tyler's a difference maker, to be quite honest. I think the rest of the guys you have, you make up for Tyler. You know, let's say, are you hurt a little bit with one more ball handler? Yeah, because Tyler can help you in that area. But are you winning any more extra games because of him? I don't really think so. I really don't. Yeah, Duncan's contract has been terrible. Maybe now it might be movable after this season that he had and the improvement that he showed. I think that could be something that could be beneficial. By the way, Essential Moving Experts, let's talk a little bit about Sean Williams and the boys. Folks, give them a ring. Moving is never as easy as it is when you call Essential Moving Experts. It becomes cake, baby. Super simple. Sometimes it's hectic with others. With Sean and the boys, they do a great job. Long moving services, home moving services, long distance moving services, office relocation. And folks, we talk about flat fees, no surprise charges, safe and efficient loading and unloading practices at all times, which is something that gives you peace of mind. Go onto the website, make an appointment, go to support@movinghelpdesk.com. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you. Over 1,700 applicants or happy customers, that is, have already given Essential Moving Experts a very high rating, folks. So what are you waiting for? Get on down there. Check it out for yourself. Call them 386-213-4054. Their headquarters are in Daytona, but they help and service anywhere in the country, within the city, within the county, within the state, from state to state, across the country. And let me tell you, Essential Moving Experts, you know what they'll also do for you? If you need to store your possessions for an extra week or a month, they'll do it on the house. Now, if it's 2 months or 3 months, you know, you're going to have to probably negotiate something there with Sean and the folks. But up to the first month, on the house. That's what we talk about, full service. So call them, tell them that Big O sent you. Proud sponsors of our platform now for 2 years, man. 386-213-4054, Essential Moving Experts. Okay? Lowry could be moved by the trading deadline next year because it's an expiring deal. That could happen. Somebody may take that. Big O singing puts a smile on my face. It's joyful. Thank you, Karoon. Appreciate that. Probably not true, but I appreciate it. It's very nice of you. Big O, every time I hear the words Valley Girl, I think of the great Frank Zappa, R.I.P. Yes, sir? How's that sound? And I tell you that I love you, baby. I'm getting a call from Mableton, Georgia. You know, it's like some crap they're trying to sell me. Hey, your car, what's it called? What's that thing? It's about to expire. Well, I don't own that car. What are you talking about? Do you answer phones now that are not saved? Because I don't. I will not answer just a number. If it's not saved in my phone, it'll go straight. I'll force it to go straight to voicemail. So that way you're forced to leave a voicemail if it's important, and I'll call you back if it's important. But I'm at the point now that I don't. If your number's not in my phone already, you're going to be talking to a voicemail first and foremost. I will not answer phones with just a number on it and I don't recognize the number. Can't do it. I'm going Dennis Green. Can't do it. Won't do it. Can't win with them. Can't do it. And by the way, that soundtrack, Brett, from Valley Girl, so good. So good. I just moved. Moving does suck. I mean, it sucks royal ass. Major royal ass. Like, I don't ever look forward from moving from my house. I don't really want to move from my house. I kind of would rather just like take a couple things and leave the house to my daughter and just here. That way I don't have to move. I'm just going to go find a small apartment with the old lady and just hang out. Because it will get, 5-10 years from now, it will get like the house will get, it'll be too much already at that point. It's just like, yeah, we gotta get some smaller and chill out. That's why Essential Moving Experts, they're really good people, man. Marlins beat the Blue Jays 11-0. And, when you have something special constantly, you got what we call the Cutter's Edge MVP of the night.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
All right. By the way, Utah is making Colin Sexton available in trade talks now. Anyway, last night, we, when you talk about a Cutter's Edge pro and a MVP, Luis Arraez, and that guy is 5 of 5 last night. Okay, 5 of 5, 2 RBIs. He's back to 400. We talk about certain things. Sandy is must-see TV whenever he pitches every 5 days. Not this year. But, most of all, and he'll get back on. I'm not worried about it. But Yuri Perez has become that guy you got to watch every 5 days also, right? Okay? Jorge Soler is a guy that, hey, you want to watch him. He's stroking it, baby. Well, Luis has become must-see TV, man. I mean, this guy is flirting with Ted Williams territory. That's amazing stuff. This is the kind of stuff that us older guys, whether Ted was a little before my time, or Pete Rose or George Brett, we had certain guys, Tony Gwynn, over the years that were just elite hitters. They weren't just hitters, they were elite hitters. Rafael Palmeiro, elite hitter. Guys like that could carry high batting averages. And then once in a while, they're so good. What's it called? Ichiro Suzuki, that you start flirting with 400. There's those certain guys over the years in baseball. And Luis may not have the reputation of some of those guys yet, but he is certainly developing it because he is flirting with 500. And that's why he is our Cutter's Edge MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
All right. Thank you all out there as always. Appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. And Jack, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I did receive them. And now let's accept them. It's very nice of you, bro. That's a very nice gesture, and it will not go to waste. I will definitely go and enjoy them. I'll take the wife. She loves Bryan Adams, so that's cool. I've seen Joan Jett, 8 billion times, so I'm good with that. I like Joan Jett. Oh, the woman doesn't, she's in her 70s now. The power in her voice is not the same at this time. Yes, Yuri does pitch today. Yes. Hey, I'm guessing Dame told Portland he wanted to play with Bam, and I think they misunderstood. No, I think that they think that if they get Bam, that they could be a contender. That's all. They don't really know Bam, but that's all right. That's, it's all good. It's understandable. Like I said, look, I don't think there's any shot that he trade Bam. Bam's not the problem. Bam's part of your solution. Your problem is you need another star. Bam's not that star, but Bam is the perfect role player, complementary player, super role player that exists because he does all the dirty work and he's super happy doing all the dirty work. And to me, that's all that matters. If you could get a guy to do that, then, you'll be all right. And so he's really not the issue. Okay. Oh, a minute. Here we go. But you never know what they offer. It might be something so amazing that you can't turn it down. So we shall find out. All right. Driving home this evening. Could have sworn we had it all worked out. You had this boy believing way beyond a shadow of a doubt. Took it all for granted, but how was I to know that you'd be letting go? Now it cuts like a knife, and it feels so right. And Jack, I have downloaded the tickets. I've got them added to my Apple Wallet, so I'm set to go. By the way, a little tip for you all. If you own an Apple phone and you have your Apple Wallet, okay, sometimes you'll get to the arena, stadium, wherever. I've been all over, the country, maybe parts of the world to go to a concert. And you get to the you're in line or whatever, and then you want to go get your tickets, and the internet is not as strong and those kind of things. So my suggestion to you, because sometimes it'll take you a couple minutes to pull up the ticket, or it'll slow you down, all that kind of stuff. If you do have the Apple Wallet, use it. So whenever you get your plane ticket and your boarding pass or your concert ticket or whatever, okay, download it and put it onto your Apple Wallet already, because that way, whenever you get to the gate, if there's any internet issues, your ticket's already in your Apple Wallet and you won't need it, and you'll pull it up right away with no issues. But if you have to go back to your email and then pull up the ticket, sometimes that could delay you. And you might have been that person that said, oh, dude, hold on. And your buddy's already gone through with his ticket, and you're like waiting to download your ticket and all that because you didn't transfer it over to your Apple Wallet. So, suggestion to make your life a little easier. The second you buy your tickets, receive your tickets, whatever you do, like I just did right now with Jack, and thank you again, Jack. You pass them on to your Apple Wallet right away. And that way there's no headaches the second you walk in, man. Yes, Rod Carew, another one, Brett. It's very good. Very good. Big O, I'm glad you went in on the Kareem Hunt availability the other day, because I've been on it for months. Duke can play and will be cheap. We should look into him. Your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, but again, it's a luxury at this point because you're talking about a fourth back. You know what I'm saying? And Salvon Ahmed is not going to cost you a lot. Kareem's probably going to cost you a little more than that. And Salvon knows the offense perfectly. So that's kind of what it is. Do we go with the luxury? And I think if they're going to go luxury, they're going to go, the elite luxury that's left right now in Dalvin Cook to a certain extent. As I told you all along, they would never spend big money on Dalvin Cook. And that's kind of the case right now. The thing is, they're happy with their running backs more than most of you. Okay? For a lot of Dolphin fans, it's like, no, we need another running back. We got to have another running back. And it's because Mostert and Wilson and A-Chain don't convince them. That's the reason why. Yep, the Apple Wallet is awesome, Herman. You are correct. It's a great invention. You know? Don't quit your day job. I never will, Rosendo. Never will. After 33 years, I don't want to do anything else. To be quite honest, I love what I do, and I think it comes through every single day. Let's see. Agree with that one. Oh, Apple Wallet comes in clutch, always. Sign Dalvin Cook, and that fixes O-line. No, it does not fix your O-line problems. Your O-line problems will be your O-line problems. It doesn't matter who it is. Your O-line's bad, your running game, your quarterback will be bad. It'll get in their way. It'll create problems for them. So I disagree with you. I think the most important thing is now, let me tell you something. If this was a guard or a tackle that was out there available, he would have been signed by the Dolphins already. That's where they're at with that. Okay? All right. When we come back, I got to give you a sad and funny Heat story. I got to give you, when we come back, a absolutely stupid story. Then I got to give you a disturbing story. I mean, there's some doozies we have going on here. Our number, and then there's a really gross one. These are things that have happened to us in the past, and they do permanent damage to us if you're exposed to it. So we got to talk about something you don't want to be exposed to, because it could do permanent damage to you. That and more. Hour number 3 is next.
You know, I tell you guys all the time about Cutter's Edge Pro, man, and what they did with our backyard and made it a pure oasis. That's our Sylvester tree right there. A beautiful day, providing a ton of sunshine. We've got one exactly like this out in the front yard, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's Bono hanging around on the artificial turf. What's up, Bono? What's the word, baby? There you go, wagging that little tail. Maiden, there she is. Ziggy. How you doing, Ziggy? There you go. So we got the doggies hanging out. So just want to give you a little, we got some of the trees starting off from this way with the artificial turf. You see, there's Ziggy again, of course. Got it all the way. And look, we got some flowers coming out. That tree now will start to also spring, and it's absolutely beautiful too. So got all that. They can do all kinds of things for you in your backyard to kind of make it an oasis, which is what we've done. And obviously the dogs can play. What's up, Bono? I got him there hanging out. Maiden, there she is. There she is, the one and only. She's mean as a skunk, by the way. Just want you to know. She's awesome with us, but I mean, if you're a stranger, you don't want to meet mated. So as you can see, and then the artificial turf, remember, there's no watering. There's no cutting the grass. It looks fabulous like this the entire time. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Back here in this corner is where we put the barbecue. I wheel it out, cook, then I wheel it back in. See, looks beautiful, doesn't it? Flowers are coming out. It's awesome. And then when I want to play a little golf, there's my putting green down the side, which is a beautiful thing. There's one of the holes all the way to the other side where Bono is at. All lights up. It's really beautiful when it lights up. See, we got the rough. Got several. Got one on that side. Got one over there in the corner. Urbano's leaving. You got rough all over the place, man. Just in case, you know, you get the ball trapped in there. That's it. That's another swing. Right, Maiden? So, check it out, cuttersedgepro.com. Make your home an oasis. Make your business, your HOA complex, condominium, you name it, they got you, bro. They do it all. All right? They cut your trees down, and the artificial turf, I swear by it. Really easy to maintain, and it looks just absolutely freaking beautiful. Cutter's Edge Pro. Right, Ziggy?
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis-Jacques is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
There he is, locked and loaded. How you feeling, baby? You ready for Around the Horn today?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling ready. I feel like every conversation, every sports talk I've ever had has prepared me for this moment. So just hopped off the production call about an hour ago. Just got out, had to go see my boy Chris over at Barber Love in Edgewater. I had to go get crispy, and I'm excited though. I'm excited, man.
There's a lot of crackling. There's a lot of crackling going on in your audio here. I don't know. See if we can reconnect one time here, Sean. Let's try to reconnect to see if we can clean it up a little bit. Real quick. Rough. Yeah, it's still kind of rough. Let's disconnect and connect and see if we can get a better signal here on the intrawebs. Okay. Because the intrawebs, sometimes they don't connect well, so sometimes you have to kind of reconnect with the intrawebs, and then it kind of hopefully sounds a little better, So let's see if we got it there, and we get Marcel back, and hopefully, and he's on Around the Horn today. Okay, I believe it's his debut. It is okay. Here we go. This is your debut at Around the Horn.
Debut, man.
Okay.
Show one, hopefully of many.
And by the way, much better sound. Okay, so now this is your first appearance. You're a Dolphins beat reporter. You're living in Miami. Brother, teams down here don't have early exits from the playoffs. I'm just saying. So
hey, look,
you need to represent well and go deep into the playoffs. I'm just saying.
But you know what else? But you know what I am before any of that? I'm Sacramento raised. I'm a Kings fan. I'm West Coast. And West Coast teams, if they're not named the Lakers or Warriors, get no love nationally. No one talks about the Kings nationally. No one talks. So I plan on slipping a couple Kings references in there. I always told myself if I got to a national stage, I'll make sure Sacramento was taken care of. So I gotta look out for my own first. But Miami's on the docket. I don't want to ruin it, but I'll tease you a little sprinkle. Miami is on the docket. It will be discussed. The city, its team will be discussed. I won't say what, who, what, why, when, but just we're ready for it.
Tyreek, Kachuk, Vic Fangio, and Messi, they don't go to Sacramento. They come to Miami, bro.
Hey, Sacramento got to build from the ground up, man. That's all the more reason why when a homegrown talent like yours truly gets somewhere, gets a platform, he's got to look out for the hometown, man. He's got to look out for the squad.
You know what? I kind of like this. Actually, this plays to our favor now. If you go deep, it's really Miami related. If you get eliminated early on Around the Horn, Sacramento related. So that's kind of the way we got to roll on this, okay? I ran this by Cam. I'll run it by you. The longer this drags on, the better it is for the Miami Dolphins. I've said this from the get-go. I don't think Cook is going to find the money out there. And whatever offers he gets from lesser teams, it's going to be more than what Miami offered, but not enough that it's a no state tax and the team can win. I think he ends up here because those big, ginormous offers he thought he was going to have are never going to show up. So as time goes on, does it benefit the Dolphins or not? Do you agree with me or not on this one?
Yeah, I would say it benefits the Dolphins. We haven't heard of him taking any visits yet. He did say on Adam Schefter's podcast yesterday he's interested in teaming up with DeAndre Hopkins.
Whatever.
Which it made me laugh because he said like it would be epic, right? It would be epic.
Yes.
Would it be any more epic than teaming up with Justin Jefferson, who you've been playing with the past 3 years? Like we've already seen you.
Yeah.
It cracked me up because it's like, what are you talking about, bro? It's not like, McCaffrey saying, "Oh, it'd be epic if when me and Devo were together," or like if Derrick Henry is like, "Yeah, it'd be epic if me and somebody." Like you just played with the best receiver in the NFL for 3 years. Like what do you mean? DeAndre's not going to compare. And also,
by the
like
way, at the point we're at in free agency, the team that signs D-Hop does not have the money also for Dalvin Cook. So
and that brings up a valid point,
he
though.
doesn't really have a grasp of reality, Dalvin Cook.
But
I don't think so.
But that brings up the valid point. A team that can afford both Hopkins and Dalvin Cook, that can afford both and give both a role worthy of their name, are bad. We're talking Bears. We're talking Panthers. He's not going to go back to the Cardinals. He's not going back to the Texans. Like those are the teams that have cap space and roles available for them. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But as I've said from the jump, if he wants to come here to Miami at cost, if he wants to come to the Dolphins at cost, then it's a no-brainer. If he says, "Yeah, I'll play for $5 million. I'll do it for $5 million a year." Send the paperwork in. Easy money. Add the talent first. Worry about the fit later. Add the talent for it. It's having too much talent. What did Mike McDaniel just say about it last year? It's like the guy who has to choose between the 25-foot yacht and the 30-foot yacht when he goes out, or the 40-foot yacht and the 50-foot yacht. Like which Lamborghini to drive, which Ferrari to drive. You know what I mean? Like get the talent first, worry about the rest later. But again, the Dolphins are in a situation where they don't need Dalvin Cook. They're not a running back away from being like this penultimate or ultimate Super Bowl contender. It's not one player away. You don't lose in the wild card round when you're one player away, regardless of who was hurt, who was injured, who was available. Like that was one of the smartest things. I heard Brandon Beane say that after my first season in Buffalo, that you don't one player away when you lose in the wild card game. So they're not a Dalvin Cook away from suddenly winning the Super Bowl. I think that they will have a sufficient running offense, but you have a team with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle on it, man. Like your offense goes through the air. You can run the ball to supplement the air game, the passing game, but you're a passing team. It's a passing offense. Dalvin Cook would maybe tilt the scales a bit, but they don't need that. And I think that is their position of power. They don't need him here. They're not going to have to move heaven and earth. They're not moving mountains to get Dalvin Cook here because it's a luxury. He's a luxury at this point. And this is no disrespect to him whatsoever.
I agree with you. When you hear the comments coming out of Buffalo and Josh Allen trying to take some heat for everything that's going on with Stephon Diggs and then the coach reversing from concerning or whatever that adjective he used for not showing up, and then reversing like how much they love him, how important he is, this and that, and how they had to kind of send all kinds of positive reinforcement. What the hell is going on with that dude?
Well, there's a report today, I think coming from Fox Sports, that he was upset that he restructured his deal for DeAndre Hopkins, and that DeAndre Hopkins is either not there, not going to be there, and so on and so forth. Like I've said from the jump too, like if the Bills and the Chiefs were the only destinations where adding DeAndre Hopkins really moves a needle, like is really, really significant. You know what I mean? Like going to the Patriots, it makes them from, they'll be in fourth place by 4 games to maybe by 2 or 3 games. Like it doesn't make them a contender even in the division, nevertheless, the conference. But I think DeAndre to the Bills is significant. That's a legit second option there that is hard to account for. But if they're not adding him, I think the rest of the conference, the rest of the division, sigh of relief. Wipe that sweat off your brow. Like that's wonderful news. That's wonderful news. But beyond that, man, I don't know, man. I think Buffalo's window is closing a bit. I think it's closing a bit. It's going to be open as long as Josh Allen plays. Don't get me wrong. It's not done, but I think their optimal time to have gotten to or won the Super Bowl was these past 3 years. Because now guys have to get paid, financial decisions have to be made. Guys are getting older. They're not drafting they haven't drafted very well. So it's a complicated situation. But Diggs, man, you're getting 24 M's this year. I need you to I need you to not be a distraction. If I'm being McDermott out, I need you to not be a distraction, man. It's a good thing going here.
He's always a distraction.
It's not always a distraction. I think
always.
Minnesota kind of
burned
burned him.
He stormed out of the locker room last year and that whole thing, and then they had to talk him to come back. Then weeks before that, he was I think it might have even been against the Dolphins that he wasn't getting the ball, and at halftime McDermott had to kind of hug him and talk to him and all that kind of stuff. He has a super diva quality to him, and that does become that does become something that gets in the way, because the last thing you want is your stars to be the guys that are giving you issues. You can understand role players and middling players and whatever, but your stars have got to lead, bro, by example, by routine, by everything. And he doesn't set a good example for everybody else.
To be fair, I think he tore X apart on that first series. If it's the game I'm thinking of, tore X apart on the first series and then didn't get another target.
It's not
another target. He deserved more. If he was angry about not getting enough touches, not getting enough targets, it was completely warranted. It usually is completely warranted. But no, I think that Minnesota, he was misused, miscast. I think ever since he's been in Buffalo, it's not been. I mean, if you're a distraction, the distraction you cause is based on, it's competitive based. It's, I just want to win. I want us to win. I want this, that. Like, it's not selfish. It's not, I want more money. I want to start. I want to do this. Then I think you can live with that. And that's where I think the Bills are with Stephon Diggs. I think it's basically, hey, we know I give us the best chance to win this game. We know I give us the best chance to win. Allow me to do that, please.
The other safety spot next to Holland, is it Jones and Deshaun Elliott, and is there a dark horse that we don't talk about in that position besides those two dogs at the strong safety spot?
I think Thompson, Bryce Thompson.
Bryce Thompson, yes. He looked pretty good, by the way.
Made some plays during minicamp, came away with some interceptions. Looking forward to seeing him once the pads go on and once Tyreek is on the field, once Jalen Ramsey is on the field, once like the starters are back, then I'm gonna put a little bit more weight into it. But for now, I would expect Javon and Brandon Jones to start there at safety, Deshaun Elliott playing that like Eric Rowe rotational role. But I think it really does sound like defensive backs, considering how much they value versatility in this scheme, that they are going to rotate. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey is going to primarily play corner. I wouldn't be stunned to see him line up deep once or twice a game, a couple times a game. I wouldn't be stunned. I haven't seen it because he wasn't in team drills this spring. But I wouldn't be falling out of my chair in the press box if that does happen. But I would expect Jones and Holland that's your starting safety duo. They are one of the better safety duos that people don't talk about in the NFL right now. They're one of the most productive in terms of, or Jones specifically is one of the most productive in terms of pass rushing. When you do blitz a defensive back, nobody does it better. Few people do it better than Brandon Jones. He was showing improvement in pass coverage last season before he was hurt. Hopefully he can build off of that. And if he does, then I don't think safety is as big of a concern as some people say it is.
So if you win around the horn today, what's your 30 seconds going to be on?
Oh man, it's tough because for a little bit, I was going to use it on Messi coming to Inter Miami and what that means for the MLS beyond signing the biggest athlete in the world. The fact that it's a critical juncture right now. Their tried and true formula of bringing aging European stars to the United States is being essentially copied by the Saudi League, with the caveat that they're also going to pay them $100 million more.
Yeah, they got more.
Messi coming to the MLS is showing people, hey, there is an alternative if you morally don't want to do this, if you don't want to do that. I'm also very interested in how the typically reserved Leo Messi is going to handle being what I assume will be the MLS's spokesman, essentially. He's not David Beckham. He's not, into the spotlight like David Beckham is. So it's hard seeing him be this like beacon for the league when he would much rather kind of like keep to himself and go home and be with his family. But I'm not going to do that. I told myself that if I ever made it to a stage like this, if I ever made it to a stage like this, I'm going to take care of my own, and that is all I'm going to say.
Oh.
You have to watch and wait.
You're going to torture the people with 30 seconds about Sacramento, cows, and
you're going to have to watch and wait. You're going to have to wait and see. But I said I'd take care of my own if I ever make it here. And so the people who, the area, the people, the whatever, who
we are your own, bro.
Who I wouldn't even be here without.
You live here.
That's the time.
Okay, you live here in South Florida.
Like I said, there's going to be some Miami content. Y'all just have to stay tuned. Show airs at 5. Go home real quick, dust off the stray hairs, grab my jacket. I've got the Miami look. I'm black V-neck, blue jacket. Like that's about as Miami as that's Miami representative as can be without actually grabbing the pink blazer. But I'm excited, man. Like I said, I'm excited to get this going. I've been hoping for this opportunity. This is the kind of thing that I moved down to Miami for. That's why I came to a bigger market. I'm not going to be petty.
They're going to pick you in Sacramento for around the horn. They're not going to pick you in Sacramento if you're covering.
I'm not gonna be petty and mention the people in Buffalo who asked me why I took a demotion. Who told me I should have leveraged my time covering a better team into a bigger job. I'm not going to mention the people who told me I would never leave South Carolina, but I'm grateful for this opportunity and I'm excited, hopefully, to build on it and do it more from here.
All right, 5:00 today. Make sure you catch around the horn and root on our guy Marcel. Hopefully, he'll win for Miami. If he loses, we know it goes to the West Coast. So it is what it is. Marcel, we'll catch up with you later on in the week, my friend. I appreciate you immensely. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Peace.
You got it. There you go. Marcel Louis Jacques, baby, getting ready for a little around the horn this afternoon. Welton Rayom, by the way, call my guys at Welton Rayom. They know they do it all, man. All right. Property damage, criminal defense. bankruptcy, personal injury. Listen, when Progressive was giving us the runaround, these guys crushed them, brought them to their knees. Hell, got one of the people fired from Progressive and everything. Okay, I mean, ran circles around them. I told you about this a couple months ago. They closed an account where they had like, I don't know, close to 200 clients. It's like 186 or something like that. That's how big this lawsuit was. There were 186 clients, and they cashed in, and they take those insurance companies, these big ass insurance companies, and they crush them all the time. Daniel Rayom and Jeff Welt have been at this for a couple decades now. They've built up a hell of a practice. They're in Hollywood. They can help you out wherever you're at, man. Call them 954-966-4646. From personal injury to commercial claims to insurance claims, condo association claims, water damage from a storm, from a bursted pipe, whatever, your neighbor, you name it. Before you call the insurance companies, you call Welton Rayom. They have their own adjusters. They'll have all the information, and then they call the insurance company. And when the insurance company gets a call first from the lawyer instead of the client, brother, they freak out. They know they're in for it right away. So it's really important that you have the law on your side. So call Welton Rayom because they know the laws, they know the loopholes. You and I don't. That's why these insurance companies love it when we call, because they're going to run circles around us because we're not smart enough to beat them. So make sure you call the people that will crush the insurance companies and get you the money you deserve. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis-Jacques. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Yeah. You know, when sports and business collide, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. Right. Bitcoin back up over 27,000. I like it. All right. Inter Miami, baby. The compensation, the reports are in. Lionel Messi will be getting about 50 to 60 million per year from Inter Miami, with a source according to terms of the club's pending deal with the superstar. The package includes his annual salary, 50 to 60 million, as well as a signing bonus and equity in the MLS franchise. It does not include additional compensation Messi is expected to get from Apple, Adidas, and Fanatics. All right. Now, the deal spans 2.5 years through 2025 MLS season. It includes a player option for 2026. Neither the league nor 28 other clubs are subsidizing the deal, and no roster rules are being changed to accommodate Messi. The addition to Inter Miami's roster, the partner packs are still being negotiated and are expected to compensate Messi based on his commercial impact, such as a percentage of revenue from jersey sales or new MLS season pass subscriptions. All right. So Jorge Mas, by the way, says it's incumbent upon myself and my partners in the league to seize this moment. It's a tremendous and unprecedented opportunity that we have ahead of us. All of us collectively will take the right steps to make sure to put this league in the hyper growth that it deserves. By the way, they're adding 3,200 seats to the corners of Drive Pink Stadium. Okay. So it'll bring the capacity to more to 21,000. And there you go. And by the way, there will be no move to Hard Rock unless they make it to the Cup. And then maybe there'll be a consideration of moving to the 65,000-seat Hard Rock Stadium. Okay? So Messi's deal is pretty much getting closer to being done. And by the way, he will make his debut against Cruz Azul July 21st. That'll be his first game. That's amazing, dude. This place is going to be nuts. Okay? And that place is going to be crazy. So, Dalvin to Miami for $12 million. There you go. The stupidity continues. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. Oh, man. Now, by the way, it shows, let me show you something about the media. And I saw this on Yardbarker or somewhere else. It's a story that's been picked up by a few people. I saw it on this other site called Total Pro Sports or something like that. And it says that Jimmy Butler is recruiting Dame Lillard. No, he's not. So, but the way they write the article, Jimmy Butler is tired of losing the NBA Finals since arriving to Miami. He has an 0-2 record. Now he's trying to get some big-time help. Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler reportedly is recruiting Blazers guard Damian Lillard to Miami this offseason, according to a report by The Athletic's David Aldridge. But you know what David Aldridge reported? Miami has clearly prioritized getting Lillard from Portland, with Jimmy Butler as a central part of the Heat's recruiting pitch. Do you know how to read English? Do you understand English? What does it say in that sentence? In that sentence, does it say that Jimmy Butler is recruiting Damian Lillard? One more time. Miami has clearly prioritized getting Damian Lillard from Portland, with Jimmy Butler a central part of the Heat's recruiting pitch. But the way they write the article is that, you know, he's recruiting Damian Lillard. Yet the quote does not say that. That's the Heat's pitch to Damian Lillard. This is what we do in the media. We twist shit around so we can get clicks, so we can get views. And this happens everywhere, dude. Doesn't matter the outlet. David Aldridge did not report that. He did not say that Butler is recruiting. He's saying the Heat are using Butler as a recruiting tool to entice him. Hey, you and Jimmy Butler, you and Bam Adebayo, that's what they're doing. It's not Jimmy Butler is physically trying to recruit him. And by the way, that is the story that went out there, and it became gold because a lot of people said, can Jimmy recruit his own star? He has not been able to. He only was able to bring his best friend and godfather of his daughter, Kyle Lowry. So as great as Jimmy Butler's been, and he's the most selfless star we've seen here in a long time because he will get everybody else involved. He can't find that other star, but he's not recruiting. It's the Heat doing the pitch. Media. We got too many of them like that just want to get clicks. All right. Let's go. He is back, baby. Joe Shad and our essential moving experts, Miami Dolphins Exchange.
It's time to talk Aqua and Orange. Miami Dolphins fans. Here's a man with incredibly high standards. In fact, he isn't impressed with Tyreek Hill's dominance, Jalen Waddle's speed, or even Teron Armstead's swag. It's the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking to move your home or business anywhere in the U.S. from coast to coast, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Let's talk football. Here's Joe Shad.
So you're not impressed with Waddle's speed, Tyreek's dominance, but how can you not be impressed with Teron Armstead's swag? I mean, he oozes swag. I mean, I think if you look up cool in the dictionary, Teron Armstead is in there. How can you not be impressed with his swag? Jesus,
Teron Armstead was our good guy of the year, and he is a great guy. And we look forward to catching up with Teron at training camp. I'm sure he'll fill us in on which body parts, if any, had surgery. Big O, it's good to be back, and I appreciate Essential Moving Experts as linking up with me as a sponsor for this segment. I can't tell you how many times people have emailed, texted, tweeted, what happened to you and Big O? Did something happen? Is there a fallout? Why? There's no fallout. We just need sponsors. And thankfully, Essential Moving Experts comes forward. I was at the Xavier Howard charity softball game the other day. I was walking to get my credential, and this woman says, Joe Shad. And I said, yeah, hey, how you doing? And she goes, congratulations to your daughter for her success in the 4th grade debate. I said, okay, thanks. How did you know that? She said, oh, I saw you talk about it on the Big O show. People watch this thing, man. People watch and they remember. They watch and they remember.
We're blessed. We're really blessed. We have a really loyal base, and it's grown. We're adding subscribers every day. So it's a beautiful thing, dude. What Sean and I have been able to do here, and Bill obviously helped me start this off, and I'll never forget Bill. It's a blessing, man. We get to be free. We don't have to answer to anybody, and you know what? It's needed in South Florida, Joe. There isn't an outlet that's truly dedicated to local sports and gives you the insight and brings on the people that are covering the sports, whether it's Michelle Kaufman telling us about Messi, or Manny Navarro about the Canes, or you about the Dolphins, or if I get Craig Michon to talk about the Marlins or whatever. I think it's kind of lost, because there's a lot of screwing around on radio and a lot of goofing off, and there's a lot less sports talk on sports talk radio. Let's put it that way. And so
people love the podcast. They love the video format. They love the YouTube. And it's good for me because I can promote my work in the Palm Beach Post. And so that benefits the Palm Beach Post as well. I wrote, Big O, I know you like hockey, and I like hockey.
Love it.
So I want to tell you, Big O, the first 2 NHL games I ever covered were Game 3 and Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, I've been to many NHL playoff games, probably 100, but I've never covered one as a journalist. And so I wrote an interesting column that you can find on the Palm Beach Post website, cross-referencing Matthew Tkachuk and Teron Armstead, who we talked about earlier. And the thing I found interesting is both of those guys, local sports heroes, some of the best players in their sport, played through very serious injuries. And I think I wrote a column about how the fans should recognize and respect and understand that these guys are a lot more injured and play through a lot more injuries than are often reported, either in the injury report or, even by us. Sometimes things aren't disclosed. Sometimes things are asked to keep quiet. And so I thought it was really interesting. Of course, I had no idea that Matthew Tkachuk had played a game and scored a goal with a fractured sternum, which is just unbelievable. Hockey players, Ekblad, and I'm thinking, man, Ekblad doesn't look like himself. He wasn't himself. He had a broken foot, 2 dislocated shoulders, and some other injury. A lot of injuries. And so I don't know. I just thought that was interesting being around the hockey players in the locker room
You know
for
what
the first time.
is? The freakish thing, Joe, is, and in football and in hockey, the freakish thing are the guys that stay healthy. That's the freakish part.
Partially luck, partially preparation.
Right. The normal part is to get injured because the body is not made for this, bro. It's not made to collide with each other on a consistent basis. It's not made to get checked into the goddamn wall. It's not made to throw your arm 97 miles an hour, 80, 100, 112, 130 times in a game. Your body is not made for any of that. That's why the guy from the Bills, he's no longer there, but Doug Whaley, a couple of years back, he said, hey, let's be honest, the body's not made for the NFL. And like the league freaked out and all that. And it's like, yo, man, don't tell people the truth. And to me, those are the freaks. The freaks are the people that actually stay healthy because they, like you said, luck, or they handle the punishment or they can play through certain pains and injuries. To me, those are the freaks, the people that can actually stay on the pitch, on the ice, on the field.
So when you think about injuries, you think about Devontae Parker, the former Dolphins receiver, now with the Patriots, was often injured. He tried, as he matured as a person and as a professional athlete, he tried to do stretching exercises and yoga and all these sort of things to try to limit the injuries. And they were limited a little bit. But one of the things is that he didn't really want to go if he wasn't feeling healthy. And a lot of guys do go when they don't feel healthy. And, I'm referenced in the column, Jeff Van Gundy, who I like. He's a good broadcaster, and he was the former Knicks coach. Obviously, a lot of folks down in South Florida dislike him, but he made reference to how he's tired of hearing about injuries, that he thinks the media uses that as an excuse or to prop someone up as a hero when they overcome, no pun intended, right? When they overcome, for example, a sprained ankle. And by the way, I do think that Eric Spoelstra should have given Hero a shot. Have you said that you think they should have given him a shot to play? See at least 5-7 minutes. Yeah,
I'm on the other side.
Okay.
He wasn't available to you last year, and you got to one shot from the finals. He hasn't been available to you throughout this entire playoff run, and you're in the finals. He's been injured way too much. I would not take if I'm the Heat, I didn't want to I don't think he was going to make much of a difference. He's not going to win you the series. So I think if you're the Heat, you try to get him healthy so you can trade him this offseason. But if you put him out there in the finals and he re-injures himself,
finals though, I mean, it's
if
the
he's
finals.
spending, I know, but
if he gives you a spark, I mean, listen, I'm not around the Heat, so would he have potentially provided a spark? Is he or is he not? I have a question. I don't know this. Is he well regarded by his teammates? Does he provide an inspirational spark, or do you think there are some teammates who say, you know what, we don't need you? I don't know that.
He's hit and miss. And at this point, a shooting hand foul. So now you want him. A shooting hand injury. So now you want him to come back and be himself.
He looks fine in shooting practice. I mean, it's not hockey or football. You stand in the corner and shoot a three. I mean, he can do that.
I get it. For him, I'd rather him stay healthy to try to trade him in the offseason because he's a trading piece.
I don't know.
In the offseason.
I think Spoelstra went to sleep that night regretting his decision to not give Hero at least 5 or 10 minutes. How could he not? How could he not regret that?
Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe deep down inside, they're like, he's not going to really make us the difference. And we're going to play somebody less. Who are we going to bench? Duncan. We're going to bench, whoever. And those guys are too important to why you've gotten here. So you would have to take time away from the guys that helped you get here. It was a tough situation. It's just hard for me to put those expectations on Tyler. I think it's unfair to put those expectations on Tyler.
No, I disagree. I think that it would have been a no-lose situation. If he goes 0 for 3 on 3, as Jeff Van Gundy would say, the injury was the excuse. And if he goes 3 for 3 on threes, he's a no pun intended, heroes. So
Yeah.
I want to tell you, I was around Paul Maurice for the first time. Cool guy, funny, obviously very experienced. Reminded me of an older Mike McDaniel in some ways. We are blessed in the South Florida sports market to have three coaches that I listen to their press conferences, in McDaniel, Maurice, and Spoelstra, who seem to be really cool guys who, don't take everything seriously, have a little bit of a sense of humor. I know Spoelstra maybe comes across as the most serious of those three, right? He's a little, you say he's the most serious of those three?
Yeah.
Spoelstra?
Yes. Yeah.
Which is interesting because he's a young cat and he seems to have a personality, but he's got the arms folded thing, right? That's his thing, right?
Yeah. Paul Maurice has that dry humor. So yes, you're correct on that.
But
By the way,
one thing that all three coaches have in common is
I like Schumacher too. I like Schumacher.
Yeah, I don't know him. I mean, as a player, he seemed to be like a guy who was going to be a manager.
But I watch his press conferences and how he handles things. I like him. He has a little some to him.
Is he like the other three where he's willing to like explain things? There's nothing worse than a manager that like recoils when you ask, "Hey, why did you go with the lefty in the eighth? When why didn't you put the power bat in the ninth?"
No,
so that's good. We have four good managers and coaches.
Yeah. No, I kind of like what Schumacher brings to the table, and he looks like he relates to the players too. On top of all of that, he's kind of young too. That helps out. All right. So, by the way, you said you were at the softball game, the X softball game. How much has X grown? Because I talked about this last week. I'm sorry, on Monday. Who was it with? No, it was with Poop yesterday. How much has X grown? Because think about this. X is not much of a talker. And yet he holds a charity softball game where he's kind of the mouthpiece. He's, the Jalen Ramsey arrival looks like that's kind of injected a little life into him because he and Jalen have this relationship. Looks like also the Fangio thing has kind of made him comfortable too, right? Because he was kind of uncomfortable with the way things were going on, last year. But the fact that, X has kind of been a guy that kind of keeps to himself, and he socializes with his own guys, not with the rest of the world and the media and all that kind of stuff. For him to have a softball game and be the front and center guy of all of this, it's like a different side of X is starting to develop a little bit more. Right?
I think his agent has helped. His South Florida-based David Cantor. He was obviously involved in this sponsorship with the United Way and launching the first Xavier softball game. And, thankfully for us, it was in Palm Beach. It was the ballpark of the Palm Beaches. Xavier talked about how he wanted to show some love to the West Palm Beach fans. It was cool to see his teammates show up, Tyreek was on his way and then some rain came. The game was rain shortened. Tua obviously played, led off, homered. Raekwon Davis, who clearly can't play softball at all, was out there trying to take some swings. Some former teammates like Rashad Jones, Jalen Waddle was out there. So, I wrote a story about the team bonding element that came from this. There were years past where guys didn't always show up for each other's charity events. Keon Crossman was talking about how he was going to show up for X's and X's was going to show up for his. Teron Armstead, some of the guys went out to his.
Bobby McCain was there, bro.
Now, Bobby McCain swore to me he could have been a professional baseball player. He was the best baseball player on the Dolphins when I returned to the beat. And at one point was the highest paid slot nickel corner in the NFL. Yeah. South Florida-based agent Drew Rosenhaus. Which reminds me of Connor Williams and Zach Sealer. It's going to be interesting to see where those two situations head. I assume that both of those guys will participate in training camp. Hopefully,
you sure about Connor?
Yeah, I mean, Zach Sealer was at the mandatory portion of OTAs, even though he did not participate. He was allowed to kind of work on the side. Connor Williams one is interesting. There's a dude, Mitchell Morse, I think. He plays for the Bills. That might be a fair comp contract. I think it's 9.75 for 2 or 3. Let's just go ahead and do that. I mean, they should be able to work something out. Connor Williams must be happy that the Dolphins correctly projected him as a top 8, top 10 center in the NFL. And now the Dolphins can just go ahead and pay that. So, hopeful. I think a deal is there to be done. I mean, there can't be that much separation. There can't be that much separation in a Connor Williams negotiation. I mean, okay, you're between 8 and 12, so you're between 8 and 12, so settle at 10.
Yeah, the Wilkins one
Right.
the Wilkins one can get hairy, but the Connor Williams one is really not that complicated, dude.
Does anybody want to pay? With the Dolphins and general manager Chris Greer, and this as well as anyone, Big O, they don't like to pay defensive tackles, and they don't like to pay. Now, I know they paid Sue. All right, but that was the owner. That was his decision.
That wasn't him. That was Mike Tannenbaum.
Who was Mike Tannenbaum was the general manager and executive vice president.
And you know the story behind that, right? Ross ends up running into Sue at a Red Wings game. And they sat down and they were watching Red Wings game. And in that conversation, Sue won him over. And then that's when him and Tannenbaum were inspired by, we got to have this guy. He's charismatic and all that. Because the thing, Sue has this like caveman Neanderthal image on the outside because of, stomping on people and doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he does that on the field.
Shit on the field, right? But once you get him off the field and you walk into the locker room or wherever else, he's super charismatic. He's a smart guy, he wins you over differently, because he's actually
owners. I don't think he had any interest in winning over media members, but
no. What I mean is that he's
or
not
teammates, even, to be honest.
Right. No, but he's not like an ogre, is what I'm saying. He actually, outside of football, he can act like a normal person. He's not
Great
just
player.
football player.
The combination of he and Cameron Wake.
Yeah.
It should have been better. It should have done more damage. It should have been better.
The problem was they paid him to do something that he's not, and that's the problem. They paid him like if he was like a sack guy, and he's not a sack guy from that position. And so that's where the money was. The money was QB money, bro, at that time that they paid him. It was ridiculous.
I was just saying, I don't think Chris Greer wants to pay $20 million to a defensive tackle, and I don't think he wants to pay $8 to $10 million for a running back, which is the Dalvin Cook discussion. So,
that wasn't ever.
Yeah, obviously Dalvin would like to play for the Dolphins, and I sure would like to see him take one of those 1-year hometown discounts for $6 million. Let's go ahead and do that. But the Dolphins have Connor Williams to take care of, Zach Sealer to take care of, Christian Wilkins to take care of.
Right.
Listen, am I a little worried about the running back position? Of course, yeah. Raheem Mostert, who's a very good player, does of course have an injury history, and Devon Achane, of course, is a rookie. And but listen, you can always find a running back. They needed to add a veteran running back. There will be one. It's kind of like in your I was going to say like in fantasy football, but in fantasy football, it's the receivers that are always available. There's always receivers available. It's kind of the same in the NFL. There's always veteran receivers. If you need a special teamer, 5th, 6th receiver, you can always find one. And in the NFL, there will be a veteran running back available if needed. Dalvin Cook's a luxury item.
And by the way, you agree with me. As time goes on, this is better for Miami because as I said from the get-go,
he'll realize he's not going to get.
He wasn't going to get money, and now the offers that may be out there will be from shitty teams that might be offering $1 million or $2 million more than Miami. But do you want to play for the shitty team, or do you want to go have a chance to win and no state tax? Go to Miami, play in your hometown for a year, take a hometown discount. Because Miami already made their offer. He knows what Miami is offering. And we're not hearing anybody in line for him. Nobody at all. So to me, all of this bodes well for the Dolphins and for him to end up in Miami because he has no takers out there right now. Agree or disagree? As time goes on, if there are no
I mean, obviously, the longer it goes, the better it is for the Dolphins, and it would be better if they could clear up a little money with a Christian Wilkins extension. Obviously, the Byron Jones money has come free, so you can make it work. It's just that I don't think Chris Grier has it in his mind that he wants to. And Dalvin Cook is I wrote about this. Dalvin Cook is an excellent football player. But it is true that his yards per game and yards per carry have decreased in each of the last 2 years. Reasons, some injuries, some Vikings-related situations. But this is not Arian Foster. He's not washed.
No.
He's 28.
No.
I think he's 28. I mean, clearly he's got a couple of good years left. But you'd like to, sign him to a deal that's no more than 1 or 2 years.
That guy, bro. I have no idea what Adam Gase saw in that guy. No idea.
Well, with Arian Foster, it wasn't just that he was physically broken. He was mentally done.
Yeah.
He was mentally done. And you got to make sure that the guy wants to play. There's only so many Nikola Jokic's. I was thinking about this when I kept seeing the video clips online. Nikola Jokic doesn't love basketball, and yet he's the best in the world. It's very rare. Most often, if you don't love what you do, you're not going to be really good at it.
Right. Or see, sometimes athletes are too honest with us, and it's not really what they mean. I think he does love basketball. I just think he loves his family more. That's all. And guess what?
And maybe horse racing.
And there's nothing wrong with loving your hobbies, and you have to love your craft, because there's no way you go from a raw player and the 41st pick in the draft to polishing up your game to this level if you don't love it and refine it and work hard at it. So to me, that's kind of, it's here. I'll give you a great example. Tua tells people, well, I didn't even know the playbook. And then people freak out and they think he's lazy and this, that, and it's not, dude. Even Tyreek told you he didn't know the playbook. That's normal. If players are honest with you, they'll tell you their first year or two, their head is spinning, and they tell you they know, but they really don't know everything going on.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of Tua, he did also indicate that he increased his level of preparation. So, as he should.
Did he really increase it, or did he just tell you so you guys can make it right? Oh, he's working harder now, because it's because he also says very honestly, I'll give you guys what you want to hear or whatever. I'm paraphrasing. I heard him say it once in front of me, and I was like, he also knows what to say and to kind of lead all of us in a certain direction. But sometimes players can.
I don't know. I think Tua probably sometimes says things that he kind of wishes he could take back or rephrase differently.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing with Jokic. I think it's honesty to a fault, but he has to love it, Joe. You can't be this raw player drafted in the 41st pick of the second round and then become the best player you have to love your craft.
I think he likes it. I think he likes it, but maybe he doesn't love it.
Yeah, well, then
Ricky Williams.
That's a good point. That's a good one.
Ricky Williams has said repeatedly that he didn't love football. He just happened to be good at it.
You're right. That's actually a great one right there. That's a great example of a guy that truly meant it, by the way. That's the thing about Ricky. You can tell he meant it, but I don't know. You gotta love it to improve at it, man. You gotta care about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So he's gotta love it to a certain extent, but
I'm fortunate that I can do what I've always loved, what I wanted to do since I was 12, which is sports journalism, sports broadcasting, sports writing. So fortunate. We don't all get to do what we want to do. And so happy that Essential Moving Experts is on board, Big O. That lady that I saw at the softball game is going to be very happy.
Damn right. All right, so what do you got going on the Palm Beach Post so Dolphin fans can check you out, my friend?
Want you to read that story about Teron Armstead and Matthew Kachuk. And I want you to read my take from the Xavier Howard softball game. Go to the Palm Beach Post website and let me know you read it by hitting me up on Twitter at ShadJoe. SCHADJO. We appreciate you, Big O.
Welcome back, baby. And folks, so you'll know, it'll be Wednesdays, Joe's slot every week. Today,
the wisdom tooth tomorrow.
Yeah. So he's so we accommodated, and sometimes we have to move things around. That's just the way it goes. Life is life, dude. So we adjust. So it'll be Wednesdays for Joe. Joe, appreciate you, my brother. Good luck tomorrow.
All right, man. Good to see you.
You're getting all 4 removed?
Nah, just the one. They say you don't need to do all 4 at once now. They used to say, "Oh, just take them all out." Now it's kind of like if you need to. So they're less enthusiastic about the wisdom tooth removals than they used to.
When I'm 56, so this was a long time ago. I was 18. So I had one that was coming out this way, like it was going to start pushing my teeth. So they said, "Oh, we got to take out." It goes, "You want to just take out all 4?" And I said, "Yeah, go ahead." And I took out all 4. So
I've been putting this one off for like 7 years, and finally I was like, "All right, it's time." So we'll see.
And then I did everything he told me not to do. You can't go exercise. I went to play pickup basketball, and I was like spitting out blood.
Oh God! All right, let's not talk about
All right, Joe.
See you, Big O.
Brother, be good. Follow him on Twitter at ShadJoe, and of course, our friends at EssentialMovingExperts.com. If you're moving your home, your business anywhere in the country, call my friends at Essential Moving Experts. They will take care of you.
You've been listening to the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking for local, home, long moving services or office relocation, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Miami Dolphins fans, follow Big O Radio Show on all platforms to keep up with your favorite NFL team.
All right. See what we got going on. What else we got to talk about here on the program? So let me give you something that I don't think anybody wants. And at least for me, I personally, I don't want to see it myself. Okay. But Zion Williamson. I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're controlling yourself there. But Mariah Mills, the whatever she is, porn star, adult film star, stripper, whatever she is set to release a sex tape with Zion. Now, first of all, not impressed with Mariah Mills in any way, shape, or form. I'm not sure, Zion probably, maybe he can't do any better or whatever. But why is it that you want to, do you have to release, thank God the judge blocked it, but the Robert Kraft video was going to be out. There is these videos that we don't need to see them. Mariah, please keep it to yourself, sweetheart. Nobody wants to see you and Zion in having some sex. And how about Zion Williamson? I mean, my man really knows how to pick them, right? I mean, big time. He knows how to pick the women. Holy crap, dude. Can you be any worse at picking them? That's the other thing. People say they're about to trade him. So if you're going to trade for Zion Williamson, you're also trading for a moron that doesn't know how to actually just be normal. He can't have relationships. He doesn't know who to have relationships with. He can't be dedicated to the game. He eats himself out of it. He's constantly injured. There are no positives outside of his potential. And that's it. It's just potential. He doesn't achieve anything. I'm really hoping that they don't release that video. That's all I got to say. Okay? Please don't release that video. You know, the world is ugly enough. It doesn't need a Mariah Mills and Zion Williamson sex tape to add to it. That's all I'm saying. And for you Suns fans out there, boy, talk about king-size stupidity. And I know maybe Lisa might be watching. Sorry, Lisa, I got to pick on your team. First of all, they were stupid enough to make the Bradley Beal trade. Okay? And they didn't really give up much for him, but they're going to pay so much in tax. The team around those four guys is going to be so mediocre. He's always injured. He's missed 100 games the last 4 years. He can't defend. And by the way, Durant is always injured too. I just don't see where this thing actually ends up flying and really working for you. But hey, man, I've been wrong before. We'll see. But in an interview, okay, with CP3, he referenced that Matt and Isaiah wanted to go in a different direction. So Matt is the new Suns owner, Matt Ishbia, and Isaiah is the former Hall of Famer and two-time champion with the Detroit Pistons and constant clown after all of that in Isaiah Thomas. You know, the guy at FIU, the guy that made all kinds of terrible decisions at the NBA level. So they've got Isaiah with a prominent role in the Phoenix Suns front office. Forgive me if I don't have any confidence whatsoever in Isaiah Thomas. Forgive me if I don't trust Isaiah as far as I can throw him. You couldn't trust him as a player because he was dirty and would take dirty shots. He was a great, great player. Don't get me wrong. But he was the kind of guy that just always left you with a sour taste because there was always something about Isaiah that rubbed you the wrong way. And that's because he always did a lot of things the wrong way. And for this, after everything that's gone on and different stops for him, for the Suns to hire this guy, wow. What's next? Is Pat Riley hiring Michael Jordan to be his assistant general manager? Wow. So screwed. It's not even funny. Speaking of screwed, Andrew Tate is screwed. How about the influencer? I got to tell you something. That Andrew Tate guy, he is not likable whatsoever. I don't even, I know he's got a whole bunch of followers, but every time I've seen a video of this guy, he is as unlikable as it gets. Don't know if he's guilty or not, but he's been detained by Romanian authorities for a while now. And so the influencer slash a-hole, I guess, has been charged with rape, human trafficking, and creating an organized crime group. Again, don't know if it's true or not. We'll find out as the case goes on and the trial goes on. They confiscated 21 Bitcoin off of him. That's worth $565,000, although it's worth a little bit more today because it's gone up. Wow. Oh, we're at 27,400 now. I told you it just crossed 27. It was under 27,000 this morning. Now it just got over 27. Now it's up to 27.4. I like it. I like it. I'm good with that. All right. All right. I'll take that. I'll take it. But anyway, we'll see what happens with Andrew Tate. But I got to say, not likable whatsoever at all. Speaking of baseball, Sean, did you see our girl yesterday? Huh? No? You know what I'm talking about? What's wrong with you, bro? Paige Spiranek. Let me make sure I turn down the volume. Here we go. She threw out the first pitch yesterday at the Milwaukee Brewers. Here she comes, walking out, looking all smoking, freaking hot with a Brewers jersey that is tied up at the belly. She's in tight jeans. She comes out to the top of the mound, and then she remembers, oh, no, I got to throw from the bottom of the mound, they told me. So she walks over to the bottom of the mound. She lines up, and she throws it, baby. Strike. Yeah. There she is. Paige Spiranek. How do you like them apples, boys and girls? Total smoke show. What else can I tell you? By the way, there she is with the. That's how you wear a baseball jersey, ladies. Just want you to know, that's how you wear a baseball jersey. Okay, a Paige Spiranek doll. That's pretty cute. And there's a smoke show. Paige Spiranek. Anyway, just for all of you out there, keep up with the latest Paige Spiranek news. Whew, man, she is a gorgeous human being. That's all I can tell you. Hey, Sean, did you help out your buddy Jack Jones today? He was arraigned today. Being arrested at Logan Airport with 2 firearms in the luggage. So, those of you that, when you're going traveling, just remember you have your guns in your bag. How does that happen? I don't understand any of that. I really don't understand that. That is just absolutely hilarious, dude. I gotta say. And by the way, somebody said, I'm hearing, what was it? It was funny because we talked about it earlier. Somebody was saying, oh, I'm hearing that Dalvin, here it is, Stephen Harris. I heard Cook wants to play with Hopkins. No, he just says it would be epic on a podcast. That's it. It's not that he wants to play. He just says it would be epic. And see, here's where one stupid story then turns into a snowball of stupidity. Okay? Unless D-Hop and Dalvin are going to go to one team where they're going to take like close to the minimum, like, hey, you take $3 million deal and I'll take a $3 million deal and we'll sign here, then yeah, it'll be epic. But if Dalvin wants his 8, 10, 11, $12 million and this guy D-Hop thinks he's worth $15 or $18 million, first of all, there's probably no team left that really wants to sign both of them at a price like that. Maybe there's no team that wants to sign both of them at a price like that. This is exactly like the story that I just told you about David Aldridge, that the Heat are using Jimmy Butler as a recruiting tool, as a recruiting pitch. So how do they then decipher that? The headline reads, Jimmy Butler is recruiting Damian Lillard, when no, Jimmy Butler's not recruiting. It's the Miami Heat using Jimmy Butler's name as part of the recruiting pitch. But no, let's spin it and let's make it what it's not, just like this. Let's make it what it's not. If Dalvin is naive enough to think that he and D-Hop are going to play anywhere together, they're out of their minds. Now, if both of them are willing to take super team-friendly deals, then of course they can play. They can play together on any team. The Kansas City Chiefs, They'll sign them both for $2-3 million each. But if they want money, neither one will play together. It's a stupid story. It's ridiculous. But it just goes on. It goes to show you, like the Butler story with Damian or this, it shows you have to read. You have to pay attention. Okay? Don't just go off a headline. Don't go off of whatever. It's just like, one of our listeners sent us I heard they're talking on a chat board about Tua's extension. Okay, what schmuck on the chat board knows anything about this? None. So why would it be a story? Why would you ask about it? A friend of mine yesterday asked me. Let me read the text. Okay. Rumored CB Cam Smith unsigned because he's exhibiting immature, undisciplined behavior off the field, the Miami night scene. Some schmuck put it out there. So then I get a text from a friend of mine, heard anything about this? And then I just answer back, is this a credible source? And then that's when she starts laughing and says, yeah, you're right. Look at the name. If it's your friend, if it's somebody on a chat board, if it's some YouTuber or something, it's nothing. They don't know anything. Now, if it's Adam Schefter, if it's Cam Wolf, if it's me, if it's Joe Shad, if it's whoever, legit, Jay Glazer, somebody that knows the shit, knows people, actually breaks stories, those are the kind of people that you want to then say, hey, is there something to this? Okay? Because I don't think Sal Paolantonio is going to throw it out there if he doesn't know the source, right? If Chris Mortensen's not going to throw it out there but if you read the name and it's just some schmuck, they don't have any access. They don't know anybody. So do the math first and foremost. Okay, who's talking about a Tua extension? Oh, some Dolphin fans? Okay, great. That means nothing. Oh, some guy that is not even in the media, part of some fan website or on a YouTube site. Listen, nothing wrong with YouTubers. Plenty of YouTubers do a terrific job talking whatever, from sports to poker to hardware to hobbies, you name it. Tons of terrific YouTubers out there doing all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to actual insight, none of them have any insight. They don't know anybody in the business. So if they have never broken a story, why would you actually listen to them? And then worst of all, why would you pass it on? Because all you're doing is passing on misinformation. Just like the idiots that are taking that quote from David Aldridge and turning it into Butler is recruiting Damian Lillard. But it'll get a lot of you to just read off the headlines because you're lazy, and then you'll repeat it to your friends. Oh, no, dude, Jimmy Butler is recruiting Damian Lillard. No, he's not. But plenty of idiots are going to believe that. Plenty of idiots right now are talking about it in their jobs, right now at the cigar bar, at the barber shop, at the park, or, oh, hey, bro, you heard? Yeah, dude, Butler's going after Lillard. He's recruiting him. Oh, yeah, I read that. No, you read a headline that was terrible, and it wasn't exactly the story. And that's what goes on in our business way too much. And you won't get that shit here. But you know what we'll do here? We'll expose it. That's what we'll do here. We'll expose it for you. I think fans with some of these stories because of boredom when there isn't much happening in the NFL world. It doesn't matter. Either way, it's not a story. That's all. The problem is you guys are trying to make it a story when there's no story. There's no substance to anything. And you got to look at the source. First and foremost, you look at the source. You know what I mean? I have a friend of mine that I go back and forth with him on politics all the time. Never has any sources. It's always alleged. It's always, oh, this, that, some story coming out of left field. Nothing comes from a credible source. There's never any real video. There's never any real proof. And so you just can't go by that. There has to be actual proof so we can actually see it or hear it or whatever. If you have no proof and if there's no track record, then how do you believe that person? Big O, if Cook can't get what he wants, will he still want to be a premier back, running back by Jose, my brother? You guys seem to not understand this. Okay? If Cook comes here, he's part of a committee. He's going to get paid to be part of a committee. And that's it. And if he doesn't like it, then he can go somewhere else, dude. That's all. There is no desperate desire to sign him. They'll sign him on their terms. I told you this for months. No matter whatever anyone reported or any, fan that thinks they know something, oh, they're going to trade for him. Oh, they're going to sign him right away the second he becomes available. No, guess what? No one is signing him the second he becomes available. No one. So that's our problem here. It's Dalvin Cook. If he wants to be delusional and think he can play with D-Hop on one team or think that he's going to get $10, $12 million or think that he's going to get 20 carries a game, brother, fantasy land is there for all of us. Just go to your nearest Disney World or Disneyland anywhere on the planet, and you can go to Fantasyland. Anytime you want, you can live there. Dalvin lives there. Dalvin has no sense of reality, like a lot of you Dolphin fans. You have no sense of reality. You think that running backs are valued, and they're not. And you're learning a brutal lesson now. Finally, some of you are learning that lesson. And especially those of you that thought that Dalvin Cook was the most priceless thing in the world because he's from Miami. We always go through this shit. It's always the Miami guy. And as I told you, and usually the biggest cancer to all of this are the Miami Dolphin fans locally. It's the biggest cancer to all of this because they're the ones that they're the large portion of the delusional fans thinking that we've got to have the Miami guy because if we don't, oh my God, the world is over. And it doesn't matter who it is that comes from Miami, dude. It is over-talked, over-hyped every single freaking time. We never look at it for its true value. We always blow it up for a value that it really isn't worth it. So if he wants to play here, he will have to play on Mike McDaniel's terms and on Chris Greer's financial terms, not on his. And he'll need to be happy and accept it. And that's it. There's no, hey, here's the keys to the franchise. You're the bell cow. Here's your double-digit salary. We love you. Those days are done for him. That's it. And you're now finding what I knew 2 months ago, you're now finding out. I know, I get it, dude. It's hard for you to believe that, just like it's hard for you when I tell you in the middle of a winning streak, Flo will be fired. And you're like, huh? It's all good, bro. It's understandable. P.T. Barnum said there's a sucker born every minute. You know it, Brett. If it's not Walter Cronkite, must not be true. Big O loves Zion. He has mentioned them every day for the last. I need somebody to help me go to Krispy Kreme every once in a while and knock down a few donuts. Let's see. Oh, I heard from a local Miami fan who knows the manager of a Guitar Center who Tia Tia once went to England that the Beatles are getting back together. True story. Oh, man. What else do we have here? Who's this B McD guy that's just like flooding the whole text line? Does he know the rules here that there are no spamming? Get your point in, get your point out, my brother. This isn't about you. Okay? So easy up on the texting there, buddy. Very well said, Big O. Just like half the fan base believes that the Dolphins should trade for Lamar Jackson because he's from. Yeah, exactly. Whew, yes. Let's trade for Lamar Jackson. He's the answer, and Teddy Bridgewater is going to take Tua's job. Where are all you guys out there with taking Tua's job? What happened to those people? Huh? I miss all those people. You know, I know right now we've got nearly 200 people watching. I know some of you said that Teddy Bridgewater was going to take Tua's job. Well, huh? Tell me. Come on. I don't. Where are all those people that thought that, you know, it was going to happen? That you were going to get Teddy Bridgewater to eventually beat out Tua Tagovailoa. I'm just wondering. You know? Because I remember those people. They were just like, you know, they were just there, and now they're not there anymore. It's, you know, I don't know. It's we can't find them anymore. You know? They must be, I don't know, they must be disappearing, right? Where are all those people? Teddy Bridgewater is going to beat out Tua. Skyler will be the number one QB. Oh, we're trading for no, we're signing what was that defensive back from the Bills? Because that was a done deal also, right? That was a done deal, right? Oh, they're trading Tua to Indy, to Washington. Oh, wait a minute. The Josina special. They're still looking to replace Tua. Or Jordan Poyer, that's it. Jordan Poyer was for sure a Miami Dolphin. I mean, it was a done deal. Okay? You had people out there that it was a done deal. What happened to all those people? Just wondering. Where are you? Right? Well, hey, Bam Adebayo is a star. Where are you? Big O, will you be reacting to Pat Riley's press conference? Yeah, tomorrow. I've already done 3.5 hours today, bro. I can't be on for 5.5 hours. I have to listen to it, watch it, take some notes, and then I'll go through it with a fine tooth comb, as they say. Okay? That's what I would do. So, unfortunate. Did you hear about Victor? Speaking of the Heat, did you hear about Victor Oladipo? This is a sad and funny story. Okay? Sad because Victor Oladipo got ripped off and ended up losing a bunch of money. So he's suing his manager. So here's the story. Victor Oladipo has taken legal action against his longtime business manager, James B. Henderson, for allegedly stealing $1 million from him to buy a strip club and condo. So the Heat guard Let's see. Here we go. He is, by the way, Oladipo, who turned a silky rendition of Easy by the Commodores on season 2 of The Masked Singer, says a trusted business partner secretly looted his bank account, allegedly sinking the stolen funds into a plush Florida condo in a New York City strip club. In a series of blistering court filings obtained by the Daily Beast, the 31-year-old Oladipo and two-time All-Star, his playing career as of late has been plagued by injuries, accused longtime business manager James B. Henderson of taking at least $1.3 million while he wasn't looking. The allegations, which have not previously been reported, are laid out in the June 16 petition, which seeks to force Henderson, who goes by the moniker Jay Belly, to sit for a deposition and explain himself. But according to Oladipo, Henderson was simultaneously stealing from him while all of this was going on. In January of 2020, without Oladipo's knowledge or authorization, Henderson accessed the loan management account Oladipo had at Merrill Lynch and wired nearly $330,000 to a title insurance company to fund his purchase of a 3-bed, 2-bath condo in Orlando. Later that year, Henderson forged Oladipo's signature on checks from his cash management account at Merrill Lynch in the amount of $25,000 each and made them payable to DDS Hospitality Construction in connection with the renovation and improvements of the condo unit, the complaint goes on. In 2021 of August 17th, Bell Properties transferred ownership of the condo to Henderson's son, also named James, for a mere $100. That was the start. According to Oladipo, Henderson forged additional checks from his Merrill Lynch account, and that totaled $900,000 using the cash to pay for personal expenses. When Oladipo realized what was happening, he fired Henderson, hired a new business manager, and a companion filing states. Henderson's replacement, who was identified in the filing as only Mr. Neiman, soon uncovered additional misuses of Mr. Oladipo's money by including investments in or around a joint venture with a business operating as an adult entertainment club in Woodside, New York. Located in the industrial section of Queens, hard by the BQE, the club Starlets runs theme nights such as Cut the Check Mondays, Oladipo, Mogul Tuesdays, and Takeover Thursdays. It was a name checked in the 2017 track by G4 Boys featuring Tony Lanez called Patek Philippe. Tori, I effed up a bitch bad out of Starlets, the lyrics goes. I tell her I'ma hit my target. Wow. By the way, Henderson blew off the deposition on May 31st. Oladipo is demanding he appear for sworn testimony about alleged thefts. Oladipo is also seeking documents from Starlets concerning Henderson's investment and any profits he may have made enjoying since. The new filing in New York names Starlets specifically in an effort to get the club to disgorge the information sought by Oladipo. That's some messed up stuff right there. And a really crappy job by Oladipo keeping up with his own money. But then again, what are you going to do, right? Poor guy, dude. And you know he's not going to get that money back. That guy can't produce that money. Big O, I'll donate you some Bitcoin if you leave Zion and my Pelicans alone. Fly, Pelican, fly. I need to become a sports manager. Money manager. Pat said he would run it back if all else fails. Does he have much of a choice? Oh, man. I'll hear it for myself. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway. Oladipo, dude. Wow. That's sad. That is really sad. By the way, music-wise, got a couple of music notes to share with you, or entertainment. Birthdays today in entertainment and sports and life. Nicole Kidman is 56. Lionel Richie is 74. Chino Moreno. I don't know if some of you out there, God, now I'm blanking on his Deftones. So Chino is the lead singer of the Deftones. My man Bill used to love the Deftones. John Goodman is 71. Who else? Frank Lampard, soccer player, 45. Who else? Let's see. Brian Wilson, Beach Boys, 81. Those are pretty much your big birthdays today. And today in music history, Big O will go to the Bryan Adams Joan Jett concert. How about that? On this day in music. No, seriously. In 1998, on this day, Black Sabbath, the Foo Fighters, Korn, Pantera, and Limp Bizkit, and many others took the stage at England's Ozfest, the first ever Ozfest that took place outside of the U.S. 98 on this date. In 69 on this date, a young David Bowie signed a record deal with Mercury Records. The label had to wait 3 years for him to produce a successful follow-up to Space Oddity. In 2000, on this date, Deftones, Chino's birthday's today, released their third album, White Pony, which featured songs like Change in the House of Flies, Back to School, and Digital Bath, and Elite. In 1980, on this date, Billy Joel had his first number one song, When It's Still Rock and Roll to Me, topped the charts. And in 2009, on this date, Green Day had their first ever number one song on the new Billboard Rock Songs charts with Know Your Enemy off the 21st Century Breakdown album. It also topped alternative songs and mainstream rock tracks charts, the first of only 3 songs to do that. So that is what went on in music history. There you go. Can't complain. We give it all to you on the show. Deion Sanders, I won't coach in the NFL because I have too many old school attributes. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard even being a parent if you're an old school person. You know? It really is, because the way we were raised compared to how kids are being raised nowadays, it's not even close, dude. It really isn't even close. And Jack, once again, thank you for the tickets. I appreciate you, Jack. Thank you very much. That's very nice of you. I'm going to enjoy Bryan Adams and Joan Jett with the wife tonight. That was also that's pretty awesome. Thank you. Really enjoy that. We just went to Duran Duran and Chic and Bastille on Sunday night. So pretty cool to end up going to Bryan Adams and Joan Jett tonight. That is very nice of you, man. Very nice. That's very kind. That's even better. Remember, you can make a donation, concert tickets too. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And remember, you can make a Bitcoin donation. Hey, Hateful Steve. By the way, I forgot to mention, my bad, Hateful Steve, because you corrected yourself after you realized that the players for the Panthers were really injured. So you were stand-up, and I give you credit for that. So there you go. And he's laughing that Hunter Biden got off with nothing. What'd you expect, man? You know, when you got money and you got power, Steve, they get away with anything and everything, and it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican or white or black or green or yellow or blue or purple or whatever religion or sexuality you are. If you got money, you can get off on practically anything. That's just the way life has always been. So am I surprised? Not at all. What I am loving is that Bitcoin's at 27,400. So I don't know if this is the pump. We'll see. You know, we get our ups and downs right now, but we're still doing good. The altcoins are the ones that took a really bad hit. Bitcoin has actually stayed really strong throughout all of this, which has become an even bigger positive for Bitcoin. It's what people don't realize. Careful, don't talk about Oladipo. He will get injured. You know what, Herman? It doesn't matter anymore. It's an expiring contract. That's all it is now. That's all he is to the Heat now. He's an expiring deal. You can't waste your time anymore with the Miami Heat have wasted years with Oladipo. Enough already, dude. You cannot keep getting, your heart broken every single time. The poor man's body just can't hold up anymore. That's it. Saw Deftones this year at Rockville. Chino was good. He always is. Great energy. Chino has awesome energy. And I'm going to tell you, he's got this amazing voice, but it's got a great sound to it. And he does an awesome job as a front man. Deftones are fun, man. They're a fun band to watch live. I like them. Big O, all those people who said Teddy would take Tua's job have been updated by aliens. Yep. Probably. 48 years ago today, one of the greatest films of all time was released, Jaws. I remember that. Big O, have you seen Radiohead live? Are you a fan? I do like Radiohead. Yes, and I've seen them once, years ago. But yes, I have. Jay Giles opened up for Humble Pie early in the 80s. My favorite concert ever. Wow, that's nice. That's nice. I hated that Jay Giles passed away. I saw Peter Wolf open up for Tom Petty before he died. Like 2 months before Tom Petty died, I saw him in Queens. I saw him in the Rolling Hills. That's where the tennis tournament is at. And Peter Wolf opened up for him from Jay Giles. And the son of a bitch did like one song or two, I think, from Jay Giles. And he did old Jay Giles. He did the stuff that was more, more rock and more, God, what would I call that music? But before it became more pop, actually. Before they actually made money, put it that way. When Jay Giles became huge, no, he did the music before that. And so it was a little different than, Centerfold and Love Stinks and, all those other great songs that they came up with, but I was hoping that Jay Giles would tour one more time because I never got to see Jay Giles, and it all depends if you run into different kinds of Jay Giles fans. Because there are Jay Giles fans that love the early stuff and actually don't really like when they became more popular and their hits were a little bit more popular. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the Tubes are the same way. Some people like the early Tube stuff, what's it? White kids, white punks do drugs and all that kind of stuff before the She's the Beauty stuff and Talk to You Later and all that. They kind of like more of the raw stuff, the more punkish sound that they had. It's odd like that. You know what I'm saying? That happens to fans. Metallica, you'll have your fans, that's it. They sold out once the Black Album and all, and then they want pre-Metallica, pre-Black Album. This happens with certain bands. And then it's like they have two different existences for certain. There's Van Hagar and then there's Van Halen. I was a Van Halen fan and I hated Van Hagar, but then as time went on, I came to appreciate Van Hagar. So now I like both, but there are still people out there that really only like Van Hagar and not Van Halen. And then there are tons that love Van Halen and not really Van Hagar. It's odd like that. So the Jay Giles band was kind of like that also. And I guess he chose the early music instead. Which sucks for me. But you got to see Jay Giles. That's pretty damn cool. Although for Humble Pie, you saw early Jay Giles. You didn't see popular music Jay Giles. You got to see the early stuff, actually. Yes, Frampton started with Humble Pie. Right? That's what it is. Frampton, Humble Pie, and then Traffic, and then Solo. Right? Is that how it went? I want to say. I can look it up for you right now. I'm pretty sure. All right, his guitarist and songwriter rose to prominence as a member of The Herd and Humble Pie. Later on, oh no, you know what? Traffic. I'm thinking Steve Winwood. My bad. So The Herd, Humble Pie, then he went solo. That's how it went. My bad. Humble Pie, The Herd, and then solo. That's how it went for him. It was Winwood was. Wait a minute, I might be missing one band, right? Let's see. Right, Spencer Davis group, Traffic, Blind Faith, and then solo. Exactly. Okay, that's where I got my Frampton Winwood confused. God, Winwood is another one of those. Winwood is just crazy, dude. The talent that guy has. Big O, after all these years being a Dolphins fan, my wife bought me my first Dan Marino jersey for Father's Day, and when I put it on, it brought me back to how excited I was watching Marino play. Don't blame you, dude. Don't blame you. I see Marino stuff all over my room every single day, and it's a person that we'll never let go because he brought us the kind of entertainment and hope. Because that's what the Wades and the Zoes, that's what they do. They bring you hope. That's what great players do. That's why you want a Matthew Tkachuk on your team, because once you add that incredibly super gifted star, it makes you it gets you that much closer to being, a great team. And Marino, they couldn't finish off the defense in the running game, and we all know the issues, whatever. We've talked about it over and over and over again. It wasn't his fault. He did the best he could do with what he had. Everybody else had to do their parts also, and you just can't do that, So the beauty of the great players is it's not just their talents, it's not just the entertainment that they bring to the table, but it's the hope that they sell. And when you're on a playoff run with the Beezer in the mid-90s, you're having a chance because the Beezer is on his head, blocking everything in the world. And you're like, holy shit, we got a shot. And that's what the greatness does. And with Marino, you always had a shot. Oh, we're down by 3, 6, 7, 10 points. Hey, there's 4 minutes left. Plenty of time with Marino, bro. Let's go. And we saw him do it plenty of times, So that's and this is what Matthew Tkachuk is going to do now for hockey fans. He already did it this postseason. Game winner after game winner after game winner, and you're like, holy shit, who is this guy? Dwayne Wade, holy shit, who is this guy? And you always felt like you had a shot because you had D Wade. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Marino does for you. That's what all the great players do for you. They sell you hope, man. And there's nothing like that. That's what keeps you going as a fan. That's what feeds that fire. That's what keeps you there and keeps you positive, that you have that player that is hopeful. Pat Riley has been the hopeful sign for the Miami Heat for a quarter century. The Godfather. And it's just one of those things that builds and builds, because look at all the years of winning. You went to another finals again with a team that didn't deserve to be in the finals. And then you say, what? Pat Riley. Certain people, man, they make sports, more what's the word I'm kind of looking for? Embryotic, or something like, no, not embryotic. It's what am I? God, what's the word it's kind of like it's just, listen, it just makes it where it feeds, it gives you the fuel you need as a fan, put it that way. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? Symbiotic. There's a symbiotic connection. You know, it's kind of like an umbilical cord connecting the mother to the baby. And when you don't have that star, there's that disconnect, you know? And Sandy is that guy for the Marlins, right? You have that ace. Okay, that's how you build a team. You know? All that kind of stuff is super important. That's why Marino will always be affecting all of us forever. Because what we saw magic. We saw a guy that was creating something out of nothing constantly and gave us hope. Dang, I swam, went to Wally World, caught a buzz, and you're still on. The freaking man. I'll be Spotify listening later. This is the best man show of all time. Thank you, sir. That's too kind of you. Big O had to rewind to catch Joe. I think we need a page segment daily or maybe just weekly, for educational purposes. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You know what I should do? I should try to get her on just to have fun because she's super cool. So, yeah, maybe I should you know what? We should try to work. I'm going to try to work to get her on. What the hell? Big O, that was supposed to say abducted by aliens. They are supposed to be smartphones. Along with Jefferson Airplane and Grateful Dead as contemporaries in the late 60s. Oh, you're talking something else. Okay. All right, folks. We are out of here. We thank Cam Wolf, Marcel Louis-Jacques, Manny Navarro, Joe Shad, Loaded Show. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Appreciate all of you out there. If you made a donation or while you're listening on the podcast, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo. Send your questions, comments, insults, compliments there. And, of course, you can always make a donation through a super chat here when we're on the show. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.